who himself was a Jekyll and Hyde quarterback, but had some great moments. I don't know how much faith I have in Vizina. So, I look at the ACC kind of the same way the odds makers look. I've got Miami at the top. I do have SMU with Kevin Jennings and a really good offensive line second, and Louisville probably third.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If I could be you.
And you could be me.
For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
It's time to kick back and listen to the Sports Page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia. 330-707-4202. Get in, talk sports. Do it every Saturday morning here, and here is Western Reserve Radio. A lot to get to. I know this is kind of the lull in the sports world this time of year. July, we're not there quite at football. Basketball's over, has been over. But you do have a WNBA and Caitlin Clark, who won her game last night. 110-107. Fever beat Seattle Storm. Maybe Seattle will get the Sonics back someday. But Caitlin Clark did have a 45-point, 10-assist game in WNBA history. But it might be the best, one of the best games ever in all of history. Just never mind in WNBA history. 45 points and 10 assists by Caitlin Clark. So we'll see how that goes for the Indiana Fever. Get to other news out there for those golfers. Brandon DeChambeau was assessed a 2-shot penalty, evidently trying to improve the lay of his ball in the British Open, or I guess it's called the Open now. Way back, I'm showing my age, way back when that was the British Open. And that happens to be the last major for all the hardcore golf fans out there. But that dropped him to overall 4 under. He's not a happy camper. The leader is Herbert at 8 under, followed by Fox. Lucas Herbert, -8. Ryan Fox is -7, followed by Cameron Young, -6. Ryan Gerard, -6. Jackson Suber also at -6. And like I said, Brandon DeChambeau is -5, not -4. So he's 3 out. Tees off today at 10:30. There was rumor out there that he might not play after the 2-point or the 2-stroke penalty that he was not going to play and quit and go home. So I doubt that will happen. I guess there's always a possibility that it could happen. So we'll see how that works itself out. Also, the LeBron James watch is on, and we'll have to wait and see how that works itself out. People are a little tired of the LeBron James decision. We are waiting the decision. Which NBA team will LeBron James go to? Rumor is it could be Golden State, Cleveland, and Miami Heat, and Philadelphia 76ers. Also, there was a little note or news flash in Hoops Hype that LeBron has actually talked to the San Antonio Spurs. So we wait with bated breath, or some of us have not waiting anymore. Some sports fans are not happy campers. They want LeBron to go ahead, make a decision, and move on. So we will wait to see where he goes. The question ultimately with LeBron James is going to be, what kind of a difference is LeBron James going to make in the team? Is he going to be able to put the team, quote, over the top and get them a ring, get them an NBA championship? Obviously, LeBron wants to go to a team that he can get another ring with, maybe 2 rings if he decides to stay another year. From my understanding is he's not looking just for a 1-year deal. He's looking at 2 years. So we're going to see if potentially LeBron actually plays 2 more years. Maybe he will play with Bronny and Bryce James. And then people are also questioning what will happen with Bronny James, since LeBron is not going to be with LA. And the word is that the LA Lakers do have his contract and his rights. And they're happy with Bronny. And word is, or rumor is, they are not going to trade Bronny James. They want to develop him, and they think that he's got a great attitude, great work ethic, gets along with everybody, very likable young man. And he plays very hard, he competes, and they believe that they can develop him. So the word is maybe Bronny will stay in LA, and his father, LeBron, will be playing for another team. But I thought it was interesting that the Lakers at least have come out. They're very happy with Bronny James, and they want to keep Bronny. So the saga continues. And again, we are waiting. Some people are waiting. Some people are fed up with LeBron, and they just want him to make the decision and move on. But LeBron basically has said that he's still mum, and has told everybody to trust the process. So we're going to wait and see. We're just going to have to trust the process, LeBron. So we'll see this again. It is July 18th. And just for the trivia people out there, the #1 song this year in 1975 for the July 19th countdown was Listen to What the Man Said by Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings. It was just Wings back then. He changed the name. It used to be Paul McCartney and Wings. That time it was Wings. So I learned that today listening to the 70s on 7. And we got Dave Clark here. A lot to get to, Dave. We're going to talk a little NFL football today. I know we really chopped it up last week about the NBA. A lot of stuff going on still there. A lot of rumors out there on trades, which I thought Anthony Davis's name is coming up in the rumor trade mill. One big rumor, which I actually love rumors, because you know why I love rumors? You can't be wrong. I mean, you could say any, you could say any rumor you want, and it's like, well, you can't rule that out. But it was Hypes, one of my favorite websites to look at the NBA. But the one big trade rumor is, and this gets tied into what James could do, is Anthony Davis. They would trade Anthony Davis to Golden State for Jimmy Butler, and then in tune sign LeBron as that free agent, that $3.9 million exception, which I thought was rather interesting. So they would actually reunite LeBron James with Anthony Davis, and you have Steph Curry on that team. So, and Draymond, now Draymond is a free agent. And I think the other thing, though, is why everybody wants to see what LeBron's doing, because a lot of teams are holding in a holding pattern. Like the Cavaliers are supposedly wanting to maybe re-sign Harden if they don't get LeBron. But if they get LeBron, they may not want James Harden. Now, supposedly LeBron doesn't want to really play with James Harden. They ball-centric players, but that was the word coming out of Cleveland. So everybody's kind of holding off to see what is going on, because it's kind of the old linchpin. Once LeBron makes a decision, then you might see all these other trades, because all these trades are in the deal. Like they're all being talked about. And even though they say maybe they don't tell us that, but that there's all these trades that could potentially occur once LeBron makes his decision. Then all these other players are going to follow suit. All these teams will start then making these trades for these players, because supposedly LeBron talked to the Spurs.
Right. Yep.
So could he end up?
I figured that Popovich always wanted him to be a part of the Spurs anyway, from way back when they met in the finals. So he got a relationship with him. See what happened. They're gonna drag this out for a while. They have to though, because the finances got to match.
Oh yeah.
They got to do it, so it's gonna put everybody in a holding pattern for a while.
Well, and that's the thing they were saying with the Anthony Davis Butler trade Jimmy Butler trade is the salaries match up. Like their salaries are almost identical.
Right.
Like 54 and 56 million, I thought I saw. So it's almost a trade that you could just swap the player, not get draft picks involved, not get other players involved, not to get, this, and then start having them. You see it a lot where when they can't get the salaries, they got to get a third team involved, and they have to kind of start, moving people around to match salary.
Yeah.
And here, it's an even swap. Butler for AD, boom, boom. The salaries again are almost identical. So it's easy.
Yeah, the thing about it is, well, they do got a player. I was going to say Washington, because Anthony Davis there playing at Washington, he can actually play his natural position of power forward because of their center, Sarr. I think he's only in his second year, but that guy's, he's good. He's extremely athletic. He's like Jalen Duren, but a little bit more athletic than Duren. But Duren is much, much stronger, powerful from Detroit. So those are two young guys that are real good. So, I mean, but Butler and they're two different type players. It's depending on what they want to, what is Washington really trying to do. But I think, I don't think Anthony Davis wants to stay in Washington anyway. Even though they're trying to put together some players. They definitely got some players there. So I think he would love to come there. They go to Golden State. Then I think that if that happens, I think everything just fits right after that.
Well, it would be interesting if they pull that off and you get Anthony Davis, LeBron, Steph Curry, and then I would assume that Draymond Green would sign like a 2-year deal, something where they could figure the salary out.
They
he
said
is
something like
agent.
20-something. I forgot what he had put it, which is really not much at all for as his veteran status and everything. he's really required to get more, but he would take less and
to
go.
stay there.
Yeah, to stay there.
Yeah.
And get incentives on the back end, different things, reachable incentives to, push the what he'll make.
Right.
Anyway, so I think once that happens, then we'll see all the dominoes start to fall. Then and see what happens. If
I
they
think
can make
you'll
that
start
trade.
to.
I think so too. Once they get that going, but right now, it's a lot of talk. But as football picks up and the steam gets going, then you're not hearing about basketball.
No.
They'll all of a sudden, but though they'll get, if that hasn't happened, they will make it happen then, so they can get a little bit back into the limelight.
Oh yeah.
To get some pub and keep that interest there, because it is everything that's going on. It is an interesting season coming up. They have used the ideas of the NFL, really, when you look at it. There's different strategies to bring publicity. The NBA is doing it too, and like you said, making that move to NBC and all that, it just done changed the whole dynamics. Because it's a true statement what you said. I didn't watch that much regular season until usually I start around February, be close to the All-Star break. Then I start, but not last year.
No.
They were in single digits, or might have been in the early 12th game of the season. I was watching some of the game on NBC right away. The first one that came on, I watched it on NBC just to see, and it just seemed different.
It seemed like we were talking NBA getting to NBC, getting on a major network, but then during the week, having a game on NBC during the week a couple times, actually.
Yep. And doubleheader one of those days,
And
right? Monday, maybe. I
doubleheaders,
forgot which one.
Then they had if you have Peacock, then you get everything on, you get a lot of games there. But I think that was really very smart move because people were really questioning the NBA. The ratings were down when it was TNT. They were, it was before. Where were they going to get the money? They needed, obviously to get a big TV package to basically be able to pay the players. And, in essence, people thought the NBA was going to be in decline. And I think going to NBC actually turned everything around for them. And I think more people were watching it because it was so easy to access and on. And maybe a lot of people aren't really enamored with what's on TV anyway, and they would rather watch an NBA game.
Yeah.
And then the younger generation, very popular with younger generation, NBA is big. So, and then the older generation, I think, got kind of us. Yeah, we're starting to watch the NBA regular season because it was so easy being on TV. It was on, like I said, being on NBC.
Yeah, before what you had, we had all those that were, you had one game a week, which was usually the Saturday night ABC Prime
that
game.
Was it.
And that was it, really, on regular TV. That you can just, not pay, but regular.
Right.
But once they got that and still have, I think they still do have a game on ABC. I can't remember if it is.
Yeah, they do.
They
Usually the NBA, they do have ABC Saturday night games on. That's like Saturday nights ABC's night, but then NBC had those nights, and I believe they had Friday night. NBC had games on Friday night, and they would have on a Tuesday night, and to me it seemed like every time I wanted to watch TV, NBC had the NBA on. It was like they were just on all the time.
Yeah.
And it just seemed that way.
Yeah, because they came on Monday.
Right.
One time I
and
watched
they had
Monday,
double
then
headers.
Tuesday, and then Friday.
Right.
So now you're seeing it more often again, like back in the day.
Right.
And I think that interest piqued everybody's interest. And now you got all these different guys, and Giannis moved here, all these guys that moved around. So now you're interested for this upcoming season. What is it going to be all about? It's going to be interesting.
Because I think what is occurring is baseball, they had which I actually watched Home Run Derby for baseball, which I thought was I liked it. I thought the Home Run Derby this week, we have Netflix. I watched it on Netflix. I thought it was great. I thought the Home Run Derby was great to watch. It was great theater. just the competition. And I know people, oh, that's just guys hitting the ball out of the park. It's nothing. I liked it. I thought it was better than the All-Star game. I thought the home run derby was probably the highlight of baseball. Baseball, to me, it's got so many problems. They're never on. It's not on during the week now. Like, you got to have an MLB package to watch baseball. Like, there was no baseball on last night. The Yankees and Dodgers were not on. They were on Saturday and Sunday. But there's just not a lot of games on. Now, the Mets played the Phillies Thursday night. That was the only game on. That was on ESPN. But ESPN really doesn't have much baseball on anymore.
Right.
NBC carries some baseball games, usually the Sunday night. But during the week...
Yeah, I think the Major League Baseball network is just overtaking it.
It has.
That's all it's on. You can't...
Really, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So that takes them out of the mainstream.
It does. It takes them...
Of people watching it. Everybody doesn't have that package.
No.
Yeah. Gear up for what's going to happen this off season. That's what. It might be off for a while.
What's occurring is, baseball now has got the potential, and that's hanging over their head.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, the baseball, when you're looking at it, the American League is kind of a train wreck when it comes. It's just because it's just mediocre teams. There's really no good teams in the American League. They're awful, and they're mediocre at best. And then now everybody's waiting to see if Judge is going to come back for the Yankees, because if Judge gets healthy and comes back, the Yankees are the odds favorite to win, to get in at least to the World Series. But now Judge's injury with the rib issue, that doesn't look like he's coming back maybe in September. So can the Yankees hold on and get Judge back and make, basically they should get in the playoffs even without Judge. But if they don't have Judge, they're not going to really go anywhere. They need Aaron Judge back. Mm-hmm. So that's big. That's a big baseball story, because baseball needs the Yankees to be be good and be relevant, because the rest of the American League is not. And then you have the strike. People are just really now to the point, they just assume they're going on strike next year because the labor agreement's up. The players are not going to go for a salary cap. The owners are going to push for a salary cap. Then the question is going to come down to, do you have a work stoppage? Because you're going to run into an impasse with the owners and the players. And it's happened before in baseball.
And I believe you're going to have some owners, because what about the teams that have a salary? I mean, where their salaries are like $78,000.
Well, we had that conversation.
Now
right.
You got to make
You've got the Miamis of the world at $78 million. Now you're going to go to Miami and Cleveland, who's $100 million. You have to get to the floor of $150 million. So you now have to go to the Cleveland Guardians and say, okay, you got to put $50 million in your payroll. Oh, by Miami, and actually Miami Marlins are in the playoff. They're actually, I think right now, tied for a wild card spot in the National League. You're going to have to go to Miami. You have to double your payroll to get to the floor because you're only at $78 million.
And the important thing you said, they're the National League.
Yeah, right.
So that lets you know something about the American League. They're in the National League. And a low payroll like that they have, now you're going to make them double it?
Yeah, you have to double it.
So instead of me paying you $20 million, I feel you worth 20. I got to give you 40. Yeah. Basically, that's what it's basically like saying. You doubling people. They don't want to do that.
That's what I keep saying. That is.
That's going to be.
I
rough.
keep saying that. I don't know with these other the teams at the lower end of the scale. If they're competing, Cleveland's in first place? I'll look it up, but Cleveland's either in first or second place. Right. And with the Chicago White Sox, who, they don't have a big payroll.
Right.
So the floor, I would think, the salary floor is going to be a problem because those teams are going to have to infuse their money and double the payroll. In Miami, Cleveland's going to have to dump $50 million to get to that floor.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
And yet, and they think, oh, everybody wants. I don't know if those teams really want it.
Because you're basically saying, let me overpay the players so I can meet the floor. That's what you're doing.
Well,
because you're not going to trade.
And
you're
how are
getting
they
good results from the guys you got? So why would you trade them, give them to somebody else, and start over?
And that doesn't guarantee the team's going to be any better.
No.
Just because you're giving them, just because you're making them spend money. Look at the New York Mets.
Use that
the
as
New
an
York
example.
Mets are the other flip coin where they're in last place. They have the second highest payroll in baseball. The fans there are ready to. They're ready to
And if you put those
they're
guys
losing their
up
minds.
individually, they're great players. The ones they paid for individually. Even though I always say baseball is it's a team individual sport because it's not the same as other team sports. But those guys don't mesh well. Something is not. I don't know what it is.
Well, they say supposedly the Mets don't have any really starting pitching. They're starting pitching, and their pitching is not good. So there's your problem. The problem is the roster construction is poor.
They got a lot of money into the hitting.
They got money invested, but they went out and they made bad trades, and it's a bad combination of poor pitching, and then their hitting is inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've just not, they're having problems.
Yeah.
You can't score runs. You can't stop the other team from scoring. It's just a bad overall combination.
Yes.
And you've got
a lot of problems.
You've got, I think, $400 million. I got to look up their payroll. It's 300. It is insanity.
No, that just sounds funny when you compare that to the Marlins. They got 6 times as much.
Yeah. And that lies a lot of the problem is when you break it down, the Marlins, like the Miami Marlins, to kind of give you, we talked about this a lot, but the Miami Marlin payroll is $77 million approximately. The Dodgers payroll is $395, almost $396 million. Let's round it up to $400 million while we're at it. So, and the Mets are at $368 million, round that up. So, when you break it down, I mean, you've got there are players, there's no doubt. I believe it was Juan Soto, I believe, makes close to $75 million a year. He's almost making what the Marlins make, the whole team.
$75 million.
I believe. I'll look it up.
This stuff is insane.
Right.
$75 million. I know they play 162 games, but I don't care. $75 million. There's nobody worth that.
I could be. Oh no. Yeah, he had a $75 million, but he got a. I'm sorry. I have to. He had a $75 million signing bonus, so his signing bonus is almost equal to what they paid the Marlins team. He makes 50. What is it? It averages out to $55 million a year. So they gave him $75 million, which is almost what is the Marlin payroll. And then he's making $55 million a year after that. So the whole Marlin team is only making about $20 million more than Juan Soto in 1 year.
Wow.
And you throw Lindor and Soto's contract, and they make more than the Marlins. Because Lindor's, I believe, making $35 million a year. So you take two players and take their salaries, they make more than the Marlins.
That makes no sense.
Salary, baseball's so screwed up. And then what kills baseball to me is they have it on all these different streaming, like they have it on Roku TV, they have it Apple TV. The games are all over the place. And this is where the NBA figured it out, is they just have Prime and NBC. pretty much during the week.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you know whether you can watch the game. For baseball, you have no idea. Saturday morning sports page, first quarter in the books. Back after this.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit PAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take the pledge at GetScreenedNow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and nothing rhymes with org.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
Saturday morning sports page is back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark, 330-707-4202. One thing I do want to admit is I forgot is NBA is also on Prime Video during the week. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously they're smart.
Does NBA TV still have games?
I don't think they do. I have to look it up.
I'm going to check that out. I don't think they
that's
do
a good
either.
question. I got to look it up because I don't think they do, because I think the new NBA package is they've got really the games on Prime. There's still some games on ESPN, but NBC. And then NBC's got Peacock. So
and the games come on there, right?
The games are on NBC and Peacock, and they're also on Prime. And the other thing I noticed watching NBC, I never really got to say, or watching NBC, watching NBA, is a lot of the games during the week are on Prime. And so if they're not on NBC, they're on Prime. So you almost get a game almost a night, because you can, and Prime always has double headers. It's usually NBC carries double headers. Mm-hmm. So you get the double headers during the week on with the NBA during the regular season. Then obviously the playoffs come through. And I know they had some issues with the playoffs being on Prime because couldn't handle the volume of people watching the game. There were issues there.
Yeah.
But one thing I give the NBA credit, where baseball I think has got a problem, is you just don't know where to find these baseball games most of the time. And then you get to the point now, baseball's almost out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, Sam.
And the NBA was kind of going in that direction until they got that new TV contract. And that TV contract really helped them out immensely as far as I thought popularity. And then on top of it, the opening round of the NBA playoffs was through the roof. They had one of the best opening rounds in NBA history in their playoffs as far as that opening round.
That's for sure.
Because all those opening rounds, Detroit went 7 games with Orlando. Cleveland went 7 games with Toronto. And they were pretty good games.
Yep.
The Knicks were 6 games with Atlanta. And Atlanta was up at 1.2. People forget, with the Knicks, Atlanta was up 2-1 over the Knicks. And people were talking about Brown getting fired if he lost
that
to
series.
Atlanta, that series. That people really, when they were down 2-1, it didn't look good for the Knicks. And they looked lethargic. They didn't play that well. And Atlanta was a younger team. They looked like they had it together. They won a couple close games. And all of a sudden, the Knicks are staring a 2-1 deficit to a younger team. Some people came out and said they thought Atlanta could win that series. But when the Knicks turned that corner, and all of a sudden, they just kind of, at that point, they won 3 in a row and blew Atlanta out. I mean, they just, like I said, they blew them up, blew them off the court in those 3 games that they won, and they came back. But then when you started looking at, like, the NBA, the other series were pretty good series.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's that they had that, and like I said, the intrigue of this offseason. And I don't want to not mention the draft picks that's coming into the league.
Yeah.
These guys are really showing something at the Summer League. The athletic ability, the playing the game, more advanced. You haven't seen this. Usually, you watch the draft, and usually, I don't care. It might be one top pick, and you just say, forget the rest of these guys. But they got quite a few guys in that top 15 to absolutely come in and play and help a team now. So that's going to just make the league even more interesting.
What you have now, the NBA, because I think that's what really hurt baseball, was the Knicks. Because of all that interest in the NBA Finals, I think people just forgot baseball existed. I mean, I just think there's some people that are fans of. I consider myself a fan of baseball, but to me, baseball is really, the product is hard to watch because all these guys do is strike out. Homer strike out, and all it is, and the All-Star game is just a typical baseball game where the National League, I struck out oodles. All they did is strike out. They didn't score any runs. It was kind of a lousy game to watch because it was just guys striking out.
Right.
No hitting, no moving the runner over, no strategy. It was just guys getting up, strikeout. And granted, usually what happens in an all-star game is pitching dominates, but the hitting was non-existent. At least even the American League, outside of what runs they scored, they had the 1 home run in the 8th inning. That was it. I mean, it was a 4-0 game, but it was a tough watch because all it was guys getting up and striking out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just...
And it's to the point when I think when the home run derby is the highlight of your baseball, that's a problem.
Yeah. and people don't understand. They may not be Knicks fans, but basketball fans in general look at teams like the Knicks, Lakers, Celtics, but the Knicks is different because they hadn't won in so long.
53 years.
But they're an iconic franchise.
Yes.
So bringing them back in the forefront of being able to win an NBA championship just exploded because it still is, and always will be called the Mecca of basketball, New York City. And that's just how it's been. And that's how people look at it. So I'm sure the NBA was thrilled that the Knicks won the championship because the popularity, it has to come back at full go, with the Knicks winning. And now, now the pressure comes because they're going to look for you to be back there again and again and again. But, I think it's going to be – I just think that the NBA is doing a good job. That I think it's going to be very interesting. It might be flip-flopping all over the place on who the NBA champion might be. People saying the Spurs is going to run it or OKC, but I don't think so. I think they may win the championship, but I think it's going to be flipping back and forth. I know Wemby is a unbelievable player, but as we've seen, he can't win it by himself.
You know, we were talking about the New York Knicks and TV ratings and, like, the impact. This is kind of what, and this is what I really think is I think people got so wrapped up with the Knicks and the NBA that they have got baseball on their back burner to the point where you can't find the games. They're really not on. It's a hard watch because all these guys strike out. And I know one of the critics of watching NBA is they shoot a lot of threes. But I'll go out and say, yeah, but I could watch the NBA better than I could watch baseball. Watching these guys strike out, and it's just pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour. And granted, they got the pitch clock, the game moves. But I would rather watch an NBA game because at least you got guys moving up and down. And the Knicks aren't shooting three. You know, they're not one of the teams that seems to shoot a lot of threes. They move the ball around. They're actually a good watch.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of give us an idea, like, well, okay, why all of a sudden it's like the NBA? The NBA Finals averaged 20.58 million viewers a game across a 5-game series. When the Knicks, obviously the story, winning their first NBA title. It was the most watched finals since 1998, Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls.
And that was his final. Was that his year before he?
That was the final. That was 1998. Was when he beat
Utah,
and that was his last year in Chicago.
Right.
Now, give you this idea. The monumental performance marked a 100% increase in viewership compared to the 2025 finals, which only averaged 10.2 million. So they doubled the viewership from 2025 to 2026. They went from 10.27 average viewers in 2025 to 20.8 to 20.5 million in 2026. So they basically pretty much average, let's round it up, 20.6 million viewers was the average in 2026 compared to 10.27 in 2025. So they doubled the viewers in 1 year. Now, granted, it was Indiana and OK City last year in a 7-game series. It surprised a lot of people because everybody thought that OK would sweep Indiana, and Indiana didn't. And if Halliburton doesn't get hurt, people say maybe Indiana wins that title. You can't rule it out.
Right.
But if you want to just step back and look at the whole viewership, I mean, the NBA, and it was only 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And they averaged double the amount of people watching. But I think a lot of that, or a good part of that, is, I think, related to their TV package, because I think they picked up viewers having the games on so easy to access
during the season.
NBC, they got to double. And then, I think a lot of people have Prime now. It's almost to the point where it's almost its own network. But, I mean, if you're competing against the big networks, but Prime is very popular.
But they had everything fall right in their lap perfectly, because I do believe all the change helped. That increased it. Then you have the most watched guy that you just intrigued in Wembley playing. Well, we got to see what this young guy can do now on the big stage. And then you got the biggest of biggest franchises finally making it back to the big stage and having a chance to win a championship, competing. You know, you still, even though Popovich is not coaching, he's still one of the main cogs of that. That's iconic. You got all this in that series, and I think all those different factors had a lot to do with that rating. Now, to get to double it, that's unbelievable. But they'll take it. They'll love it.
Right. And, I mean, you could make the argument, and you just hit it.
Mm-hmm.
You had a combination of the Spurs upsetting OK City in 7 games in a great 7-game series. So, and Wemby is basically, you could make the argument, could be one of the new faces in the NBA.
Right.
So you got that group of fans that want to see Wemby. They may not be Spur fans, but they're basketball fans. They want to see him play because he's 7'6", he can shoot, he's got these skills, and people are just enamored to see him play.
Right.
And then you have the other part of the coin, the Knick fans, that, that's a big fan base, but then I think there's a lot of fans, even outside of New York, like us, but grew up with the Knicks, are now like, wow, I want to see them play. Brunson, you have all those storylines, and I just think it being on now, and their ratings were really good in the regular season, being on NBC and in Prime, which I think now looks like a genius move to change your TV package to what it was. But I think that helped, plus the fact of you have those other storylines, and you had 2 teams in the finals that people were really enamored and wanted to see.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Because you just said it. Wemby is that player that I think everybody wants to watch him play. They want to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, yeah. How are you going to stop this guy? This
Right.
guy's unstoppable. So you want to see that, So they had just everything, all the pieces fell just like they needed them to fall for that. So, the most iconic thing that can happen now probably won't happen. I'm pretty sure it won't. But now the Celtics and the Lakers play for an NBA championship, and it'll be way up there again. I mean, something like that.
You got the now, and that's
both teams are retooled,
right? And that's the other thing that's carrying the NBA in the off season.
All this stuff.
Last week, we were on 3 hours and change, and bottom line is, we really talked a lot of NBA goings on, which the apron, the NBA salary cap, the first apron, the second apron, the Knicks, what they're doing with the Lakers, the retooled Lakers now, moving on from LeBron. But like what I mentioned is the Lakers. There's talk that Bronny's staying with the Lakers because they like him.
Right. Yeah.
Because he plays hard. They think they can develop him, and he's very good. I mean, he's a great team player, very likable with the other players, and he's really developed. They think they can really develop into a pretty good player. They don't want to move him. Like there was talk, well, if LeBron goes to another team, are they gonna take Bronny? Now the Lakers are saying we're not trading him. Right. He's under our contract.
Right.
We're keeping him.
Yeah.
Because we like him. We think he's going to be a good player.
Yeah. And it might be that time. It's just, hey, go ahead and establish your own identity.
Yeah.
It's good that he had that nourishing, being able to be there with his dad. But now, if it's a possibility to move on, see what happens. Could do,
right. The team believes he has a future with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking, maybe we got criticized for taking Bronny in the second round because he's LeBron. We did it for LeBron. But now it looks like, well, wait a minute. Nah, maybe we got a good deal on the second round. Mm-hmm. We signed him to a guaranteed contract for 2 years, which you usually don't do that with a second rounder, but they did.
Yep.
And now he's under contract, and there's talk that they're not trading him.
Yeah, and they may not.
And they may not.
I know. I mean, they retooled that team.
Right, and if you look at we talked a little last week. That's right. The Lakers have really retooled this team.
It's a whole new team now. I mean, you only got a couple guys that's back. Vanderbilt, and maybe, a couple other guys on the far as there were some of the bench guys they may be there. But other than that team is completely retooled. And it's a team that's going to be retooled in the liking of what Luka does. He do set guys up. There's no doubt about it. He shoots a lot, but he sets guys up. And if he can play under that type of system, then I think they'll have a chance to be successful too.
Well, they've got Luka. Austin Reeves signed his deal.
Reeves there.
He's there. Walker Kessler signed.
Very good player.
He's a very good player.
People just don't know about him from Utah, but I'm telling you, he played well.
Well played. Very well. Yeah,
he's a skilled guy.
Buried in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't even know who he was.
Right.
Now he's got, with the Lakers, they got Quentin Grimes. They got Vanderbilt. And then they have our man that I can't ever say his last name.
Oh, yeah, from Toronto.
Yeah.
Mahilalac.
Man,
something.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I seen him. I went with Mark Means
to a game. It starts with the M. Sandro. We're going to refer to him as Sandro.
That guy
They've
can
got
score,
Sandro.
Man. He can score. He can rebound, and he's a tough defender. And we watched him play Cleveland and Toronto play this year. That guy can play.
He's got 15 letters in his last name.
Yeah. Because it's so funny they show it,
but
they have to circle it, make it
right.
like a circle.
They got to circle
in a circle way to get it on his back of his jersey. It's unbelievable at Toronto.
Yeah, how does that fit on the back of the jersey?
It's rough. But that guy,
how do they get all those letters on?
Yeah, he could play. So it's not like it's a guy that is, he's no good. No.
No.
He's got skill.
But I guess that's the other thing, too, is this is what I really think has a lot of people kind of enamored with the NBA is because you've got the Lakers that have been retooled like a new team.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got about 7-8 solid players. But actually, you look at it, and they've got I'm looking at the 10, 11 players. You're going to see guys get time. Like Looney, he's listed like he's only $3.8 million. He'll come off the bench, but Dalton Knecht is also on that bench.
Yeah.
And Jake Lavavia is also.
Yeah. He's been play. He started a lot of games.
He started, and Jaden Hardy, Colin Sexton, and then there's Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
All guys. That's a good bench.
Yeah. That's what
and you got good starters.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers have obviously moving on from LeBron, but now they've redone the team, and it's an interest. I think it's going to be an interesting team to watch.
Yeah.
Getting into next year.
Well, one of the very big time key, is health, and Luka's got to be healthy, and Reeves got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And if you get those two, they are dynamic in playing the game, scoring. Reeves is a better defensive player than Luka.
Right.
No question about that. But you get the other guys that you got to get those hustle guys. Our guy Sandro, he's a good defensive player. So Looney is a guy that may not start, but would play. Then again, you never know, he might. Because he's a veteran. He knows how to play defense. He was always a starter at Golden State during all the championship years. So he knows how to play defense and rebound. That's his key. And he will put the ball back in if he's up around the basket. He's tough to defend there. So I just think it's going to be a different team. People are probably sleeping on him a little bit, but I don't think you could sleep on him when you got two dynamic scorers like that. I think they could be dangerous. So you figure them, and if they make these trades out at Golden State and that happens.
Well, that's the other question going to be now. You've got the Lakers, the retooled Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Do they make, if LeBron signs, do they make that trade Butler for Anthony Davis, get Draymond back, Stephon Curry, and then you've got now Anthony Davis. Does LeBron sign with them? That's going to make it interesting out west. But the only problem, I don't know if LeBron wants to go there, is because you've got all those other teams out west that he has to get through.
Yeah.
And it is a harder path in the West to get to a finals than it is the East. But the East could surprise you, too.
Yeah.
But I think you could still, and then.
But if you go to the Sixers.
That's the team.
In the East.
That's where it could get interesting, because you got Tyrese Maxey and LeBron on that team. Now, granted, if they could ever get Embiid to play,
right,
that's always but Embiid's only going to give you 40 to 50 games
but
anyway.
You still got Jaylen Brown, too.
But Jaylen Brown now is now you got really really, if you put LeBron, Jaylen Brown, and Tyrese Maxey, and then you can get Embiid.
And you still got more.
And
DJ
yeah.
Edgecombe.
Right, Edgecombe
is not a joke. That guy is good, boy, as a rookie last year. If you add that to that team, and LeBron knows this is a hard decision because even him going to Miami will cause teams problems with that lineup. But him coming back to Cleveland will cause problems with teams. He's really got a luxury of teams to look at, but I think he got more in the East than he does. I think it's just Golden State or San Antonio. Them the two that, I know he could go other places, but those are two I think showing the most interest in the West.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Showed, it might be somebody behind the scenes doing something, but those are the main ones I've been hearing the most about. And, if you're going to be with Wemby, then you got a chance anyway in that team.
Right.
And Castle and all those young guys out there, all they're going to do is get better.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Spurs is you saw a very raw, an inexperienced team get to the finals.
Yes, right.
And but people don't realize is they actually, when you take the games and break it down, the Knicks only led 30% of the time in those games. They outplayed the Knicks, and I would make the argument. I'm a Knicks fan, and I think Knicks got a little lucky, which you need luck to win. But when you break down that series with the Spurs actually outplayed the Knicks. It was just that the Knicks always came back at the end of the game and pulled it out
because that was the big moments.
The experience taking over. Next year, that may not be the case because the Spurs will be another year under their belt. They learned a lot. Wemby's only going to get better, which scares you, but then the rest of that team is only going to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if LeBron's thinking about I'm going to get a ring, if he's going to a team, I would say the Spurs, if he could go, that would be the team to go to. Now, the only thing, again, you got the West, and you got OK City out there. You got Denver. You got Minnesota's going to be an interesting team.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Right. So you got other teams out there. And then if they make that trade and put Anthony Davis on Golden State, even without LeBron, but if they re-sign Draymond and have Anthony Davis, Draymond, and Steph Curry,
they're still going to be a problem.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
They're going to be tough.
They're still going to be a problem.
So even if LeBron doesn't go there, Golden State's going to be retooled.
Yeah.
They're going to be an interesting team to watch. And then Minnesota now, you got the Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And
they better get somebody with him.
Ball.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball went there. Now, right, they're like a player. Minnesota still needs another player.
Yeah, and they got to get somebody that's going to.
Because they lost Naz Reid in that trade.
Yeah,
I always LaMelo Ball. I don't know if that was. I mean, I would have tried to keep Naz Reid because he does all that extra stuff for your, rebound, loose ball, whatever. He's that 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He is like kind of the guy that does everything else on the team, and he doesn't get noticed. But he'll have a 30 or 40-point game, and you think, how did he do that? But he's that kind of player. People don't realize how good he is.
Yeah. Yep, and they'll see what they lost there, and you got Randall's gone too.
And
so
Randall's gone.
If you don't get the right type of mixture in Minnesota, I don't see Ant-Man being there a lot longer than this. This is a guy that's got championship type ability, and he's not a guy that you could look at and say, you know what, he just shoots every play. No, he shares the ball with his teammates, and there's no doubt about it. But he has to be on a team that has the opportunity of winning the championship. So they got to put some things together. That's the job of the Timberwolves right now.
They got what? They got Ant-Man, LaMelo Ball. Now all these guys are under contract for 3 more years. Rudy Gobert is entering the last year of his contract. Then they've got Jaden McDaniels, 3 more years. So you've got some pretty good players.
Mm-hmm.
And the question's going to be, can Minnesota potentially compete for a title with this team?
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the
So
there's the
we're
signal.
gonna. There's our music.
Yes.
Come back. We're gonna look at some of these divisions in the NFL. Continue that.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
We'll go to noon today. Saturday Morning Sports Page. Back after this.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
If I could be you,
And you could be me
For just 1 hour.
if you could find a way,
To get inside.
each other's mind.
walk a mile in my shoes.
walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
The Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Saturday Morning Sports Page back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. As we start hour number 2 of our show, we go to noon today. You know, it's kind of a lull in the sports world, waiting on LeBron James to see what he does. But like it or not, what LeBron does is almost like a linchpin on what these other teams will do. They're all kind of waiting on LeBron to see where he signs, and then the impact that's going to have then with free agents out there. Where do they end up? Obviously, though, you know, the talk is LeBron is looking at Golden State. He's also looking at the Philadelphia 76ers, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now it looks like the Spurs are supposedly in the mix. So LeBron's keeping everybody in guessing. Some sports folks are not happy with LeBron. They are mad because he won't make a decision right away. But I look at it this way. Being the slower time in the sports calendar, this is what's keeping people talking. So in a roundabout way, LeBron is making it easier for sports gas bags like me to keep talking about it because it's something to talk about. It's the NBA, and we've talked a lot. I think NBA has almost passed Major League Baseball as the second most popular sport in America. Football will always be number one. Pro football one, college football maybe number 1B, right behind pro, and then obviously from there, I think the NBA has passed Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball's problem is, I personally think their TV package is a disaster. You've got to have an MLB Network. The game is not a good game to watch. A lot of strikes, a lot of strikeouts, not a lot of strategy. The game does move quicker because they have a pitch clock, which helped it. But from watching a game, it's just guys getting up and striking out. I know people complained about the NBA shooting too many threes, but if you're going to make a comparison between watching baseball and basketball, I would rather watch a basketball game because at least you do have players moving around the court. The Knicks were a good team to watch because they rotate the ball around the perimeter. So to me, basketball is just an easier game to watch, or I should say a more enjoyable game to watch than currently baseball. The other problem baseball is dealing with is this impending strike, which is hanging over their head like a bad cloud because people are looking at baseball now and they're just assuming that, the labor agreement is up. The rhetoric's not good. It's ugly, in fact, between the players' union and the owners. And the players' union is not going to take a salary cap. And the owners will want to impose a salary cap. And I think there's we talked countless amount of times of the issues with a salary cap for the lower teams on the payroll, like the Cleveland Guardians, the Miami Marlins. Yeah, some habits are hard to break. But Chicago White Sox are another team with a low payroll. These teams are going to have to ante up a lot of money to get to that proposed floor in Major League Baseball, which in a way will help those players on those teams because you're going to have to give them more money. You're going to have to infuse these teams with money. I don't think these teams really want to do that.
No.
So this will be interesting. But that's, to me, a bad cloud hanging over baseball's head. And there are people like us that do remember the 1994 season being washed away and no World Series because of the strike. And they needed, basically, let's call it, they needed steroids to get the game back into the main America's light again. I mean, that was the bottom line is baseball was kind of almost dead in the water, sort of to speak, until they got the steroid Sosa and McGuire, both on steroids at the time, allegedly. But even though I don't think they ever tested positive, everybody knew. And Bonds, but again, never tested positive. But that got the American people back watching baseball, was guys jacking homers out of the park. And that home run race between Sosa and McGuire to break Roger Maris's record was front and center in 1998. And that's what got baseball back. And that's the bottom line. It's just that, but baseball's in, I think, if they go out on strike next year, and with the NBA picking up so much steam, and the NBA, has looked really good now. This past year, doubled their TV ratings from basically 10 million to 20 million in 1 year. NBA, and they got a good, great final, the Knicks and the Spurs. But next year, people are already going to be looking at, what is the NBA going to do?
Yeah. I just pulled up something that's talking about the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And the bad, they said, is both sides are dug in.
Yeah, they're dug in.
They said we will go for.
No.
They said the good is there's so much momentum with the young, infused talent that people is liking that.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you got good
to
say about it.
Only you got going on.
That you need more.
Let's go to the phones. You're on the sports page. What's up?
Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Hey, Irish Mike. What's happening?
Doing well, guys. Doing very well. Thank you. I'll take you down to the bottom of the hour, and then I got to get going. But I wanted to get a hold of you guys because of, the ongoing decision by LeBron James.
Yep.
I think the three of us have talked about this for about a year and a half to 2 years, and I've always thought that, that for his career to end, obviously he's going to be in 24th season NBA this fall, and he's kept himself in great shape. We all acknowledge that, and he's still one of the top 15 to 20 players in the NBA. No doubt about that. Even he'll be 42 in December.
Right.
December 30th, he'll be 42.
Yep.
But unlike some other superstars in the past, he hasn't had that that Kobe Bryant injury, which Kobe got hurt, and then you could see that took years off his career, and he admitted that, and he said he was okay with it. You know, he had wife and 4 kids and the other things going on in his life, so he was ready to move on when he retired. I always thought it was going to be he had to end his career. You know, obviously going to do a documentary and everything, either with the Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat, or the Cleveland Cavaliers, because he cares about his legacy, what they're going to save 10, 15, 20 years down the road. But now that I hear some of these other things going on, I'm not sure he even really cares. You know, the ESPN did a thing, and I just forgot about this, guys. Did you know that Patrick Ewing ended his career with the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon ended his career with the Toronto Raptors.
Yep. A lot of people forget about
Shaquille
that.
O'Neal ended his career with the Boston Celtics. Yeah. I mean, so the list goes on and on and on. I think Vince Carter, I can't remember who Vince Carter was, but they use great players who ended their careers not where they started. Tony Parker ended with Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan ended his career with the Washington Wizards.
Yeah. So the list goes on and on and on. Yeah. So I think he's looking at that perspective that, hey, if I want to go to Golden State and play with Steph Curry, that's okay. You know what I mean? That's, you know, I stay in California. It's only a 45, 50-minute flight from L.A. to Frisco for my family to see me, et cetera. They got great golf, all of a sudden. So, I mean, what do you think? You know, I've been here in Cleveland for the last 2 weeks by multiple people. I'm sure you guys have heard the same thing. What's your guys' thoughts on all this?
I mean, I do think, you know, that's always going to fall with LeBron, because he loves his area, the Akron, Cleveland area. He does. He loves his home. He doesn't deny that one bit. So I know that that definitely looms big. But I always can hear in his voice he would love to play with Steph.
Right.
They both have said, they have acknowledged they would love to, and then they also talked about it's wild that these are two guys, your best players in the NBA. They actually both are from Akron.
Yeah, they are. Steph Curry was born in Akron because his father, Del Curry, played for Cleveland.
That's right.
100% true.
Yeah. So, you know, it's something they would love to do that. You know, so there's a lot of things that's there for him. And I still think he's intrigued. You don't hear it as much, but he got to be intrigued with the 76ers. Just have
well,
to.
That's what I
with
think.
That talent.
And you know, Dave, I thought till 2 or 3 months ago, real quick with Pat, I thought till 2 or 3 months ago another potential landing spot could have been the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, because the Knicks hadn't won a title since '73. Right. But obviously that went out the window a month ago. You know what I mean? He cannot be seen as the savior, so to speak.
Right.
I mean, like, he brought a title to New York City after 50+ years.
Yeah.
So I think the Knicks have been eliminated from that standpoint alone.
Yeah, yeah, he's not going there.
Yeah, if they had an opportunity, say they got to that stage, lost, but this year,
yes,
I think he
would have.
And he was a guy that could put him over the top. Yes,
right.
If they had not beat the Spurs, I think LeBron would have gone there. Yeah. Had they not beat the Spurs, but they beat the Spurs, and now they got their title 53 years, and he wants to. But the thing that I see with LeBron is, though, he wants another ring because he only has 4 of them. Kobe's got 5. Jordan has 6. I think LeBron would like to play 2 more years with
I agree with that.
to try to get 6 rings to tie Jordan. I don't rule that out. And I bet you, you know, if I could, I'd ask LeBron that question, and I bet he wouldn't deny that.
Yeah. And Windhurst said yesterday, Dave, I mean, obviously this changes on an hourly basis or daily basis. Brian Windhurst said, Pat, he agrees with you that he thinks he wants to play more than 1 more year.
I think
that's now why he puts the Miami Heat more in perspective, because if it's more than 1 year, he thinks Miami is a logical landing spot for him, primarily because in Miami, he'll get to handle the ball a lot more because he's used to that after 23 years.
Yeah.
Not like Brunson for the Knicks, but you know, he said if you put him on the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, those guys handle the ball a lot. You mean?
Right.
And he goes, LeBron can play with anybody, but at the end of the day, but he still has his, you know, quirks that he's used to doing as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, I mean, if you look at the Heat, you've got Giannis on that team, and you got Bam, and you got Andrew Wiggins, and you got Nikola Jovic on, and Bobby Portis.
Yeah, I forgot about Portis came over from
So
Milwaukee.
that's a pretty
too.
good team. And Tim Hardaway Jr. signed a 1-year deal. And
Yeah, they need some
Davion
shooting. Everyone
Mitchell.
says they need some shooting from the outside
Yeah.
for sure.
So they have a good core there. And can LeBron, pretty much add to it and be, could he be that missing piece to that puzzle? Yeah, he could. He probably could be. Now, I know he and Riley didn't end on good terms, but that doesn't matter. That was years ago.
And Riley openly admitted, Pat, multiple times over the last decade, he always knew LeBron was going to go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
He just didn't know it was going to be that quickly. He said that. I knew he was going back to Cleveland eventually. I just didn't know it was going to be that quick after 4 years. And so, you look at this whole thing and you say that's, the soap opera-esque, but I still think there's a respect or an admiration for Pat Riley and what he's done with that organization for the last quarter century. So
does like
that could most definitely be a landing spot for sure.
Yeah.
He likes.
And he lived there before. I'm sure he has a home down there, so they're familiar with the area.
He said Spoelstra was his favorite coach. He liked playing for Spoelstra.
Yeah.
So he likes the coach too. That's big. But even though he did try to get him fired early on, down there. But again, bygones be bygones. Move on. But he likes. But the point is, and that's what.
And in his eyes, Pat, he might look at Cleveland, Pat, and say he doesn't. After the 2016 championship, he doesn't owe the city of Cleveland anything in his mind. I think that's a good. I think.
Yeah.
I still think the odds still say he ends up back in Cleveland, but I'm not as confident now as I was 5, 6, 7 days ago. That if you asked me last Thursday, he's definitely coming back. But now, I still think he's coming back, but I'm not 100% positive either.
Well,
if he chose Miami or Golden State, it wouldn't surprise me. Or even Philadelphia. I think we all agree. Here's what I look at this, and you guys tell me where you see this at. The odds makers, the big people in Vegas, FanDuel, and all this stuff. In the Eastern Conference, they have Knicks #1 going in the next season. They have the Boston Celtics #2 and Philadelphia #3, even after the Jaylen Brown trade. Why is Boston still ahead of Philadelphia after the trade? According to the odds makers, to make the NBA Finals and out of the Eastern Conference.
I mean, I don't know. They're making it like it was a bad blood, whatever. Jaylen Brown was a problem. I don't know. That's what it seemed.
Good question is because if you look at the Boston Celtic roster, you got Tatum, Paul George, who's done. Great player when he play, but he's done. Derek White. You got Mitchell Robinson, okay, but but he's a good backup.
I was going to ask you, Pat, Paul George, what were his stats last year at Philadelphia? I know he was injured; he only played half the games or whatever. If he's healthy, is he still effective for another year or two, where he could give you 15 points a game?
Well,
I think he could do that.
The problem you have is because of his age and his injuries. Last year, he averaged 17 points a game and 5.3 rebounds a game.
How many points a game?
17.
Yeah.
And the year before, he averaged, and he only played 37 games. This is the problem. The last 2 years, he played 2024, 2025. Paul George played in 41 games, averaged 16 points a game, 5 rebounds. Last year after that, he only played in 37 games and 16 points a game, 5 rebounds. But his last 2 seasons, he's only played in 41 games and 37 games. He averages 30 minutes a game or so, a little over 30 minutes. But the point is, you got a guy, his last couple of years have shown you Father Time has obviously caught up with his body. Now, maybe he makes next year he comes in, maybe he doesn't get the injuries, but he's 36 years old.
The only thing that I feel is a plus for him is the team that he's playing for.
Right.
You had an injured Embiid. You had some other injuries going on with their team. Maxey stayed healthy.
Maxey's it.
BJ got injured at one time. So now a lot of pressure was on him to score, to be the big-time scorer he was at Indiana. That's not there. But going to Boston, where you got Pritchard who can score and is a big-time scorer for him. Derek White can score. We know Tatum can score. So you got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the basket around him. I think he'd be much better there than he's been in his other couple of stops. Now, his point totals might be the same, but the production-wise might be better because of his surroundings. Because those other places, you had guys where he needed to be that big-time scorer. He doesn't have to be in Boston under the way they play basketball. He doesn't, and those guys can score. So I just think that part will be better for him. Now, you can't say, hey, that was an equal trade. No way.
No.
Because Jaylen Brown arrow is going way up, but you also got to look at what is around him, and that's the part that I think is better. He fits there better than these other because it was too much pressure on him being a big-time scorer. He doesn't have to be a big-time scorer in Boston.
No.
But he could one thing he can do, I would say this, he still can play defense. That's something he did always, and he still can do that. So do that, average 13, 14 points a game, but play defense, and you can still win there. Let Tatum and Pritchard and White be the brunt of your scoring attack.
Yeah, because you got Robinson, who's going to be the rebounder. Mitchell Robinson will be
Right.
a rebounder. But I look at the Celtic team, and I'm like, they're retooled, puts a lot of pressure on Tatum, but now he doesn't have to share the ball with Brown anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's better. I'm not 100% sure. I still don't think that was a good trade.
I thought they shared the ball well.
Me too.
with each other.
I always did. I thought that too. That's why I still don't understand that trade. I can't.
I don't think anyone does.
I know they said Jaylen Brown, all this stuff comes out. Well, he didn't get along.
Plus minus column 2, they looked at the top 25 players in the NBA. He's number 1 on the list is when he's on the floor for plus minus, that the team is minus actually.
When he's on the floor.
They're very much Boston, the front office, about analytics.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the analytics aren't very friendly to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. That's it.
Allegedly. That's according to the numbers.
He was the MVP in the NBA Finals when they won it. So, so much for analytics. But let
me ask you this, guys. You go back to the Cavs. Let's suppose LeBron does not come back to Cleveland.
Right.
Last week, 10 days ago, Donovan Mitchell extended his contract, which he could have waited until next summer to do, and he jumped on it this summer. He could have made $81 million waiting another year.
Right.
But he just re-upped for 4 years for $273 million. I'm not good at math, but that's about $68 million a year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people around the NBA raise their eyebrows because he'll be entering his 10th year in the NBA, and it seems like to all of us that Donovan Mitchell is one of the top 10 to 15 players in the NBA, but he's more of a Robin than he is a Batman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So did the Cavaliers overpay for him at the end of the day? Probably.
They could have.
Because he's going to turn 30 next season, and this will be his 10th year in the NBA.
He's a big-time talent, but I do agree with that. He might be more of your Robin than a Batman. Now, could LeBron come in there? It's not that he's got to be a big scorer, but he might be that stabilizer that'll help doing a lot of things in that team. But I don't know. I know they got the talent. They got the talent to get there.
They got the roster.
They definitely do. So he knows it too.
They definitely have the roster to get into a finals. I mean, if LeBron goes there, you've got to figure that they're in the conversation. That's going to put them right with the Knicks and the Celtics as far as getting in the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
I would think. And then the thing is, if I'm LeBron, Philadelphia, if he goes to Philadelphia with Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown, and granted, if you get Embiid to at least, if they could keep Embiid to play 50 games, that could be really a dangerous team.
Oh, sure.
And they could end
up... That would be his best basketball option as far as... If you said, well, LeBron's chasing a title, okay, then clearly it'd be the Philadelphia 76ers. Because I would think, Pat, go real quick on the Cavs, because I'm a Cavs fan and just listen to a lot of sports talk radio. If LeBron does not come back and they basically re-enter next season with this team they have right now that finished last May against the Knicks, the reality is there's not going to be a whole lot of excitement for Cavaliers fans going into the season. Right?
Yeah, they'll probably sign
even
Harden.
Optimism going into... I think we've all agreed that the NBA regular season is very long, but you're going to have 7-game winning streaks and you're going to have 5-game losing streaks that really don't mean anything come April, May, or June. Because
Right.
if you bring LeBron in, you're bringing him for April, May, of June 2027. You're not worried about the regular season, correct?
Right. Because you're ultimately
And
going to
you're
ask
you're
a
gonna
question.
let him sit out some games. You're gonna watch his minutes because he turns 42 in December, and you're gonna want him healthy and ready to go in the middle of April of next year.
Because the question's going to be with the Cavaliers, and they've got to the conference finals this year. They're getting there. So could LeBron be the difference of getting them in the finals and maybe an NBA title? I mean, I don't rule it out. And because the Knicks went the same way. Look at the way the Knicks, they kind of had to progress to that level. And the Cavaliers could be like the Knicks. They could be next year's Knicks. They get into the NBA Finals. They get on a roll, and they could end up maybe winning an NBA title. Especially
I think what bothers Cavs fans, Pat Lucci, is the fact that they went in the playoffs last year. They were 8 wins and 10 losses. Toronto took them to 7 games without 2 starters, and then obviously you beat Detroit, who we know the number 1 seed, but maybe one of the worst. They were more of a regular season team than built for the playoffs. Detroit had a great regular season, but you all looked at them and say they have too many flaws to get to the finals.
Right.
And that took 7 games. After a blowout loss at home in Game 6, everyone was anticipating a convincing victory. And then you blow the biggest playoff lead in NBA history in Game 1, the Knicks, and you get swept. So they built up some goodwill there, Dave Clark, and then all of a sudden all that goodwill went away after the Knicks series. Would not agree?
Yeah.
For the fan base.
But you see, the thing is there, though, too, is they just ran into a buzzsaw with the Knicks. And I'm a Knicks fan, but the Knicks got a little luck, which you need to win an NBA title. And the Knicks, it was their year. They got on a roll. And even if the Cavaliers won Game 1, they don't win that series. I don't think they do. They don't get, obviously, if they win Game 1, they wouldn't get swept, but I don't think they would beat the Knicks. They would have been a lot more competitive, and losing Game 1 the way they did probably took the air. But they ran into a buzzsaw with the Knicks, and the Knicks got everything their way, too. It was you could see this, and again, I don't think it's so much the Cavaliers blew it against the Knicks. I just think the New York Knicks got on an incredible roll. They basically took 3 games from Atlanta. They swept Philadelphia like they weren't there, and they swept the Cavs. And they almost swept the Spurs. Mm-hmm. And that team was a possessed team that was on a roll. And they had the talent, and things fell in their place. They had the right coach, used the bench the way they had to, and they got on a roll. And the Cavaliers could, potentially with the pieces, they could be next year's New York Knicks if they get on that roll, because I think the talent's there. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of Cavs fans don't believe that, and I don't know I don't think they're going to get Harden and LeBron. My word, and I was going to ask you this: they're obviously not going to say if LeBron goes to the Cavaliers, they're not going to sign James Harden. Is that correct? Or do you?
I think they're waiting to see the LeBron decision.
Right,
They have to know what LeBron's intention.
Right,
I would think they would know guys already where they stand with LeBron right now. As much as he's playing a cat and mouse game, they got to know in the front office. Am I wrong?
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, now they're talking. LeBron's talking to the Spurs, so I don't know if all of a sudden now he's going to want to play there because he thinks that's. I think he more than anything, LeBron wants to win a title.
Yeah.
And I don't care where, and I'm convinced more than anything. I don't care. He doesn't care where he goes as long as he wins a title, because that's primary. And you're right. He doesn't care about I mean,
he'll have the documentary thing going on, but but like you said, Pat, I don't think this is his last season coming up. So maybe they'll hold off on the documentary until the 27-28 season.
Well, I think he wants to come. I think he wants to try to play with Bryce. I don't know if he could play with Bronny because I think Bronny's going to the Lakers like Bronny. They're keeping him. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get maybe Bronny and Bryce year after next, because I think Bryce obviously has to play in college another year because he did not get off the bench on that Arizona team.
Right.
Yeah.
So Bryce,
hey, one last quick question because I know you guys are going to be up against it. Let's suppose hypothetically LeBron signs a 1-year deal with San Antonio or Minnesota or Philadelphia or Golden State, whoever. Pick your team. And he still wants to play in 2027, 2028. Will the Cavaliers fans be welcoming that? they've been so excited the last 2 or 3 weeks. LeBron's coming back. If they get let down again in their minds, will they welcome him back next summer for a final year? Yay or nay?
They still will.
Yeah, they'll take him back.
Hate him.
Because
They'll
if he plays great and they think he could get him a title, they'll take him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all that counts. Can he get you a
Fair
title?
enough, gentlemen. That's fair. Okay.
You know how the these
know,
fans
Yeah,
be
I mean,
fickle.
people get disappointed, they get angry, but then they get over it because they want to win.
quit, that's
So,
right.
Hey, I
You're
got to
right.
get run, guys. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for taking my call.
All right.
All right.
Take care, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
He timed that right on the break.
Yep.
Irish Mike. He read the break. Saturday morning sports page. We're halfway home. Back after this, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark, Western Reserve Radio.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary, join the Youngstown Patricians today.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
Saturday morning sports page back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in. Talk sports. Western Reserve Digital Radio. Boy, that sounds impressive, Dave Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk a lot NBA. LeBron's still hanging this over our head, although I like to think of it as an upside to this, gives us something to talk about. I know people are very critical of LeBron, complaining that he is like waiting this decision out, driving everybody crazy. And there's some sports talk folks out there that will not talk about this because they just want LeBron to do it and get it over with, Dave Clark. And they're not going to talk about LeBron James.
Yep. That's what it seems like. They're keeping that to a very
don't want to talk about
minimum.
It. Yep. Well, then what are they going to do? Talk about baseball? What would you rather talk about? The NBA and LeBron and all these teams, or you want to talk about Major League Baseball?
Well, there's no doubt about which
I mean,
one.
I don't have to me. To me, I just think the NBA is very intriguing off season. Now with all these players and the trades and these new rosters like Philadelphia 76ers, I think they're a very interesting team. you've got the trio there. You granted, Embiid is still always the one people complain because he doesn't play, but I hate to say this, but you can see these big players, these 7-footers, and Embiid's always had problems with his feet and ankles and knees because of his size.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get 50 games out of him,
yeah,
he's very skilled.
Oh, yeah, that he is.
He's one of the, when he's playing and healthy, he is extremely a great player.
Yeah, it's hard to.
He's very
get center to really match up.
No,
with him because of his skills.
He is very a skilled player. It's just the health issue, and it's more the ankles, the knees, and the constant, wear and tear on his body. He can't give you those a lot of minutes, and he can't play every game. But if you could at least get him in the regular season, and they did upset the Celtics last year in the NBA Finals. I mean, in the NBA playoffs, where they took the Celtics. They were down 3-1 and came back
and won it. Yeah,
and won it. Embiid was healthy enough to get them and bring them back, and he did expose a lot of flaws to the Celtics. And again, I'm interested,
though, because you know what's interesting with Brown going to a rival right in division.
That's what I can't.
That is when that's a statement that the Celtics have made. We are telling you, we give you one of our best players, allegedly, because that's what it looks like.
Again.
And we could still beat you. You got to be saying that. It's not saying that Paul George is better or Paul George has nothing to do with it.
No, he doesn't.
He's just saying we're better without you, and we can beat you. That's what they're telling the 76ers. So this is, see, already you done start something. It's going to start something. It's going to get going. I told you before, I want to look at the schedule to see when they play.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And I know it's on. The first one's got to be on.
Well, with Prime Video and NBC, I will guarantee they will show you those games.
Yeah, I got to find out where it's at.
You got to have it on.
Because
when the Knicks play Sixers and the Celtics, those games are all going to be on.
Yeah.
Those core teams, and especially with the Celtics trading them in the division.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
that's, to me, I thought you would trade him to the other conference where you don't see him.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers, or I'm just throwing a name.
Making all kind of statements.
Clippers, somebody far, far away.
Yeah, and Brown should use it for all kind of motive, because you can look at it like this. He's saying, well, we'll send you to the Sixers. They beat us, and you're probably the reason why they beat us. Came back from a 3-1 deficit, so we can give you – you can go there because you'll help them lose now. I mean, it's all kind of things he can use in his mind and say, oh, this is what you're saying? And I'm looking for big points. When he play against them, I guarantee you he wants to go 30, 40, 50 if he can.
Yeah, he's going to go crazy. Yeah. I think he's going to
And believe me, Maxey and all the guys will be trying to get him to basketball to see what happens, because it's going to be fireworks. Oh, it's going to be fireworks. There's no question about that.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a very interesting storyline.
That's a major thing to send a guy right in, not just in the conference.
No,
I'm going to send you in our division.
Yeah,
we got to play you several times.
Yeah, they got to play him. Yeah,
you play more in your divisions.
Oh yeah,
guys more than anywhere else. So now you got to play these guys a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm so interested in that, and I hate that because I like both of them, and it seemed like the media, and I know we are media guys, but it seemed like they created an issue, because I never heard Jaylen Brown say anything about Tatum. I never heard Tatum talk anything about they seem to play well together and talk.
They won an NBA title together.
And now you say,
do they forget that?
Right. Brown made a statement. If you remember, he said, "This has been the best season I've had," and then they correlated that with, "Oh, it's your best season." Is it because Jason Tatum was out? Oh my! Where did you come with that one? He didn't say that. He said this is one of his best seasons, and it was. He did have a great
number. Right?
Wasn't he in MVP balloting? Yeah. Overall for the league. He was in that
He
discussion.
was in the discussion
at that time because he was going. I mean, he was going big time. And now he makes the statement, "It's been his best season." Oh, okay, we correlate that with because Jason Tatum wasn't there. Never said that. But that's what they took out of it. Used it as fire water, get it going. Next thing you know, he was out of there. You know, and you got to remember he was the lead player rep at one time. I think he still was or is the lead player rep. You know, a lot of times that always happens within team ownership. The player rep is a part of your team. Somewhere down the road, there's always some issues. And then these guys get, you know, you'd be like, why does they get rid of this player when he's such a great player? And that has something to do with it, too. So any kind of labor things that's coming up, that has a factor, too. But right in the division, it usually doesn't happen like that too often.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking, you know. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have. They'll play at least 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just check that out, but you and I know that at the end of the day, that the fact they handed the Celtics pretty much gave him away to the Sixers. I know they got draft picks from Paul George, but let's really call this for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it got criticized. But you pretty much gave one of your best players. You can argue who's better, Tatum or Brown, but you have your 2 best players. You gave one of your best players away to an interdivision rival. Who does that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, think this through for a minute. What team in their right mind would give one of their 2 best players who gave you who was very critical in you winning an NBA title, 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum, Brown were very instrumental, and there may be the big reasons why they won a title.
Right.
So they were the 2 best players on that team. You could argue who was better. I don't know. But you gave one of your 2 best players away to the team in your division that you didn't get much back in return. You got Paul George, but Paul George, his last couple of years, he hasn't played much. He's been hurt, and he's 36 years old. But who does that? I don't want to know. You know, again, I still can't believe it. And now they were trying to say, Boston was trying to tell us that, well, we had too much salary in that position. That was the other thing. Because what we're paying, but you re-signed him and gave him all that money. No one put a gun to your head to do that.
Right.
But why? I mean, now all of a sudden you wake up, oh, we can't have that much salary at that position.
Yeah, I could see if it was coming up, either one of them, you're trying to figure out, oh, what I'm going to do. But you already did it.
Yeah.
You gave them. If it was before, and I can understand you trying to struggle, hey, I don't know, this might handcuff our team down in the future. I get that. But also, you pay them, and then also, oh, you know what? This is going to hinder our future. Now, there's some other underlying stuff that's going on. So get rid of them. I'm kind of happy you did it right in the division. You give me more intrigue to watch this season.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera.
Well, the thing I look at it this way, I look at the 76ers, and I see a team. You've got a young and a very player in Tyrese Maxey who is improving immensely every year. He's only getting better. Mm-hmm. And he's a good guy, great team player. And it's like, okay, that guy is almost the corner, to some extent, the cornerstone of your franchise. You've signed him long-term. You want him on your team. He's the guy. But now you go out and you get a Jaylen Brown, who's really a great player and probably a little bit better than Maxey is. But you put those 2 guys on that team, and then you still have Embiid. Now, granted, we know all Embiid's shortcomings with injuries, but if you could keep him healthy enough, you still got 2 great players on that team that could pretty much carry the team and make an impact in the regular season. You get this team in the playoffs with a healthy Embiid, with these two players, as long as they stay healthy, you
Yeah.
got to figure they could win the NBA.
Oh,
At
yeah.
least get to the finals
Yeah. Oh, they have
next
a good,
year.
Yeah,
With
they have
this
a definitely
team,
good shot.
you gave Brown, who to me is still, I don't know, you want to say he's a top 10, top 5 player? We could probably try to break that down, but you gave a premier player pretty much away.
Yeah, and that's just the key period. I mean, I don't even know what number to give him, but he's a premier player in the league, point blank. And that you just don't give guys up like that, you know. I mean, it's almost like the trade when I think about LaMelo Ball. They say sometimes he would do stuff like crowd pleasing, you know, and not looking at the team endeavors or whatever. But you try to harness that if you can. Don't give him away too early, because the guy's an exceptional talent. But they basically did that. Well, Minnesota has a very good coach that I don't think he's gonna probably lay the law when he comes there. You know, that he's got to understand who he's playing with.
Right.
You know, with Ant-Man, and then know how they play. You know, and a little bit more discipline to his game. But that guy's talent is something. And I sometimes just don't understand how they give up on guys. But some guys you have to maybe move on, like our guy Ja Morant. I mean, he's at Portland. Might be the best thing for him to get somewhere else. He's got to get a new start. He's got too much talent to allow off the court stuff to just
hopefully,
mess him up, because that guy's talent is
he
immense.
does.
That's ridiculous.
He's got great talent. Hopefully, he gets the off-court situation squared
Yeah.
away. He's had some issues there.
Yeah, just around the wrong people.
And
I don't know what's going on. He wasn't like that first, and all of a sudden,
I don't know.
Somebody got in his ear somewhere, but he's got to get some type of mentorship to get him on the right path. Because, man, I would hate to see that type of talent.
Yeah, you don't want to see that talent wasted.
No, that's the guy that could be on a championship type team. He's got that type of ability. There's no question about that basketball ability. And he doesn't just play offense. He does play defense too, but it's just all the other shenanigans. So, you know, it's something personal with these players sometime. And Jaylen Brown, it's got to be something personal. It'll come out eventually. But they had to have something against him to get rid of him like that. And they have talked about it so many. That's what I'm saying. It's not the first time. They talked about it, getting rid of him before they won the championship.
I understand trade. It's part of the NBA landscape. They make trades. I get that. It happens all the time. Maybe there's a falling out with Jaylen Brown. We don't. I mean, a lot of speculation. Read a lot of internet stuff. Supposedly he was never wrong. Rubbed people the wrong way, which is to me all noise. Who knows? I understand that. So people get traded. Teams trade players all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But to give him away in the division makes no sense. I mean, why don't you trade him to the Lakers? Why don't you trade him to the Clippers? Why don't you trade him to, like, another team and get some decent players, not get a broken down older. And I like Paul George, don't get me wrong. But Father Time is he's 36. He's coming off 2 seasons. He didn't even play
Yeah, well, they got to be
half the games.
Yeah.
But the point is, why, again, if you're trading him away, a great player as Jaylen Brown did, he was instrumental in getting you a title. Why didn't you get anything back?
Well, like I said, it's some personal stuff.
Gosh.
It'll come out eventually because nobody, I mean, the Celtics, any team, they're not going to do that kind of trade. That was but they did it because it's something else underlying that's going on.
Do you think Red Auerbach would make this trade? No. Red Auerbach might have traded him, but he wouldn't have ever traded to the 76ers in the division and get nothing back. Red Auerbach would have figured something out and got you some good player. Red Auerbach is the late, great Red Auerbach is probably turning over many times in his grave when he did this.
Yeah.
He's probably going, what the hell are you people doing?
Yeah, he probably, but you know what? I'll go back to, like we say about the GOAT and all that. The errors is different. So the way they handle stuff then and the constraint of the league,
it's
different. But that wouldn't happen back then Period. The stuff just wouldn't happen like that. But now with money and how high this stuff is, really the players run the league. It's not like Red Auerbach ran the Celtics.
Oh yeah, no, he did. Yeah,
This era, they don't run it. The players tend to have just as high.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's why these things happen. And they just got rid of them. They don't care.
Was it the fact? Can I ask you a question? Is it a fact that no one else wanted him?
No,
Is that what happened? Because
I seen they was trying to trade him other places, but nothing would match up. And then with the salaries, the players they wanted,
because Brown
they wanted more.
Right, that's what happened here.
Yeah, that's really what
I
it was.
understand that it was a matchup with the salary, but again, there's 30 teams in the NBA. You had 29 teams to trade him to.
I know they tried Golden State. They tried a couple others. They couldn't get the trades down. So the only one that was left was them, and they just did it. They didn't care. They wanted to get the thing that I see.
All I want to know.
They wanted him out of there and as fast as possible.
That's yes.
And that's the thing. So you're not waiting around, see, hey, get him out of here.
Yeah, house on fire, he needed to go.
Yeah, that's why. I'm telling you, something else.
Again,
we don't know what it is. This soap opera, we don't know what it is, but something happened.
Evidently.
It's going to come out.
It will probably come out.
It will come out sometime.
But
it might be a little while before we hear, but it's something.
You just made the Philadelphia, you just made your rival, the 76ers, a contender for the conference finals. Easy.
But they probably don't think that, though. They probably feel that they can still beat them. And when I look at their roster, they may be able to. They may be able to because they always give them problems anyway.
I ask you a question, though. But the question is, when you trade a player, the concept of the trade is to make your team better, right? I mean, normally.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes when you just want to get rid of a guy, you don't care.
Okay.
Get out of here because you're making our team.
But why would you want to make the team in your division that much better? I get.
When you think of a guy as a cancer, though, let me say this, though. You don't really look at it like that. You might say, hey, that guy is a great player, but he's a cancer to a team. Let's say, we don't know what's going on, but let's say that's what you see. You don't mind giving that to them.
How did he become here's the other thing.
It's got to be something like that because you don't give a guy up like that.
He evidently just became that way.
No, I don't believe that because I can go back to the NFL teams.
But they won an NBA title with him and Tatum. But I didn't hear that he was so bad a guy when you won the title.
Before they got the title, they was trying to trade Jaylen Brown for the longest.
Jeez.
And they couldn't get a trade. That's why, if you remember, he came up for getting the extension, and he did not get it at first. They kept dragging that thing on because they was trying to get rid of him. There's so many teams they tried to put him up, and he could not get the trade.
But they gave him that extension.
And then they finally said, well, this guy, we got to either get a trade or give him up or pay for it. They thought things would turn around. Maybe him and Tatum together could work this thing out.
But I never heard Tatum and him ever.
I don't think
they like one another. They talk highly of one another.
Else.
And Tatum is a good. I mean, they're
know.
both. But I don't see. This is the thing with Jaylen Brown. I hear all these horrible things, but they interview him. He's always like a very respectful,
I got a
young guy. He's very low key.
You ever heard of Chris Paul being a cancer?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Chris Paul, yes, because I remember Chris Paul.
I can tell you exactly when it started.
Was bad because he was always yelling at the other players.
Oh yeah, that's not.
Who was the one player? I mean, those players got sick of playing with him. I remember those Clipper guys. Oh, who's the one big center he was always berating? I thought.
Oh, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see that.
But Jordan was always like Jordan. Just got you could see.
I'm going before that. I'm going before them. You didn't hear anything about Chris Paul being a cancer. Never.
Not much, but yeah, you're
right.
But
at the Clippers, you did.
Yeah, it all came out.
Yeah, but no, it came out. Why? When did he became a cancer? When he became the head player rep of the NBA.
Yeah.
And he was with the Clippers.
Brown's,
And who became a head?
Yeah, he's the head player rep.
Never heard nothing about
Yeah,
Jaylen
right.
Brown when
You
he
know
became
what?
there. They get, ownership says this, and this to him,
Well,
and
you
he
see-
said, "No, we're not doing it." And it's major problems. All of a sudden, now he's a cancer.
Because he's
Chris
the head
Paul was
player
never
rep.
a cancer, but then when he got to be a player rep,
He's
I
bad.
can't get him out of here.
So basically,
It has
my
something to do
take
with
on it is, to some extent,
I got
maybe
another guy for you,
this is
too.
all manufactured by the owners.
I think so. Here's
and
another
I
one.
agree with you there.
I'm gonna give you another one. And then I know you like this player. This going back to a little bit. Adrian Dantley.
Oh yeah.
People love Adrian Dantley.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, when he became head player
Yeah,
rep
he
with
got-
the Detroit Pistons,
Yeah.
when he was with Utah, I think it was, nothing. Oh, what a player! This guy
He's great.
scores. He's just great.
Right.
Detroit head player rep. All of a sudden, cancer. Trade him just anybody.
Well, they gave him. They got
Just gave him up.
Aguirre.
Well, yeah. They just go. Get
Well,
outta here.
rumor had it that was Isaiah wanted his buddy
Oh, yeah,
Aguirre
yeah.
because they were from Chicago, grew up together, and that was the deal.
But he's like I said, he was with Detroit.
But
All
he
of a sudden
was.
good. Now
Yeah.
he's terrible. They hate
So
him.
you might be, okay.
And-
that
and-
could be the reason
'cause
why
you
they
never heard of nothing
right.
about Jaylen
No, I
Brown,
never did
ever.
anyway. Adrian Dantley
And
always.
when that came,
hard-
what you told
yeah.
me about Chris Paul said,
Yep.
yeah, I know, and that's why I wanted to tell you because that's when it started happening. And then I seen Jaylen Brown. I said, what? I said, no, it's something with he the head player rep. Something's going on. It's gonna come out. It'll come out later, just like Chris Paul's came out way later.
Yeah, when he
but it
became
came
the head
out.
player rep.
See?
That's almost like the kiss of
Death.
a death with these guys.
Yeah, because the ownership can't do what they want.
The owners don't
they
like
think they
them.
can manipulate that guy to do what they want.
Yeah.
And then they don't do it.
No, they don't do it. No. Maybe that's it.
They said that I
Maybe
seen
just
guys
so
like
Jaylen Brown.
like Jordan and all them guys all was put up to be player reps, the head player reps, Drexler.
Yep.
They all would refuse.
Nope, they didn't want anything to do with it. They
Nothing to do
knew.
with it. They didn't want to do nothing with
They didn't want
that.
anything to do with it.
Bird, all of them. Nope.
Bird, none
not
of them.
doing that.
Magic, none.
Nope, they wouldn't do it.
They stayed away from that
Stayed away
because they
from it.
knew.
Because they could also mess up your legacy.
Yep.
Say stuff, put stuff out there.
Yep.
Because you never hear nothing about Jaylen Brown. No. But all of a sudden, when he became player rep, they kept trying to get rid of him. They couldn't. Oh, we'll get him. Keep him.
Man, every time they interview the guy, he's always
nice,
to
calm.
me, he's calm, quiet, and very even when they interview him, he's very respectful. He doesn't he doesn't like get mad or mouthy or anything. He's very thoughtful.
Well, what did you just say earlier today when you was talking? You said you hear that Jaylen Brown rubs all these people the wrong way.
Yeah, because he was supposedly always right.
Yeah, but
and
I never heard that before.
I never heard that before.
But now he's a
now
terrible
all of a
guy.
sudden he's got
nasty. Really, really strange that stuff happens. And I started, and I know I only use a few examples, but I looked, I said, isn't that funny? Every time a guy becomes the lead player rep, and they've been good guys, we always known them as good guys, all of a sudden they're the worst guys in America.
I don't know. And
I don't
again,
know.
you have that issue, and then you hand them to the 76ers.
And then Tatum, they keep trying to interview him, and he will not get into that stuff.
Nope,
They're trying to get him.
Nope.
No,
Tatum's
I don't have no
like,
problem with him. I haven't had any.
Nope. Tatum's like, no, I have no problem at all. I like Jaylen Brown. We're good friends. We still, and I think
I don't
they
think
do.
he liked the trade. I know he probably.
No,
didn't
I
like
know. I think if you, Tatum will never come out, obviously, but I bet you 5-1 that Tatum's not happy with losing Jaylen Brown, not for Paul George, because I don't care what anyone says. You made your team worse. You didn't make your team better. With the concept of a trade is to either trade a person away to make your team better. That should be the number one reason. Or you need a guy needs okay, I get you need a change for whatever reason, but you don't give the guy away to your division rival and make your team worse. The Celtics today are not better than they were when they had Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, it just don't seem it. It don't.
They're not.
They're going to have to show me.
I don't care.
Did they sign Anthony Simmons?
Who, the Celtics?
Yeah.
Or
did they sign him? Because if they did sign
I think they did. No.
Not yet, did they? Somebody else might have got him.
Simmons. The Celtics did not. He's not on the roster. He's somewhere. I think he's with. He signed somewhere else. Oh, look. Okay. We'll come back. We got another hour to get to. We got a lot. We're gonna get that NFL. Back after.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and
the stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley. Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Saturday morning sports page. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. We go to noon today. Although this is the lull of the sports season, we always find something to talk about. That's what we do. For the record, Anthony Simmons is now a 76er, Dave Clark, as we talked.
Yep.
I mean, to me, I could see LeBron wanting to go to this team. If I was LeBron James. 76ers are going to be a good basketball team.
Yeah, they should.
Thank you, Boston Celtics, for giving them their best second. I make the argument. I don't know who's better, Brown or Tatum. But, again, I still can't figure this out, why they gave Brown to the division rival Celtics. I did. And ESPN did rate that trade a D, as in Dave. That was not a good, all these experts are coming out. They're shaking their head going,
yeah.
I don't care what you say with salaries. You can't find another team to make it work.
Yeah.
Somewhere, there's 29 other teams in the NBA. There's 30 other teams. No, wait, do the math. There's 30 teams. There's 28 other teams besides the 76ers that you could have traded Jaylen Brown to. 28. 28 other teams.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, it doesn't matter. The deal's done, but Anthony Simmons is with the 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a solid team built And you've got to figure they're going to be in the conversation.
You know, everybody mesh. If everything mesh,
If they
it
get
should be
this
good.
team.
If it's a lot of turmoil, then maybe Jaylen Brown is a cancer. But until somebody proved that to me, I don't know.
I don't buy it.
You know?
I'm not buying that.
That's why I never bought it for Adrian Dantley, because he's such a good, quiet type of guy. Went out and did his job. Then all of a sudden he was a bad guy. Next thing you know, he's playing, he's out the league. He's done. You know, these guys, Chris Paul playing, then all of a sudden he's traded around the league like crazy.
Right. Then he gets
And then
moving.
he finally has to retire. So it's just how, you know, it's nice to be the player rep, but then you become the head player rep of all. And it just seemed like it's like the kiss of death.
It is.
So, and I hate Jaylen
think
Brown's only, I think, 29 years old, getting ready to be 30, somewhere right in there. I would hate, he got so much. But just keep playing the way he's playing. They'll see that he's not. But, you know, if he keeps getting traded or we got to get rid of him, then we know that this is some type of intertwinings going on to do this, because it makes no sense to do it the way you did it.
Yeah, he's 29 years old. He
Yeah.
will be 30 in October.
And you see, they rushed him out the door. So there's got to be something else going on. You just don't do that. I can see you trading him. You trade him. Even if you did trade it, and you don't want to, but if you did trade him within your conference, in your division, the hastiness is what get me. It's not that you really that he went to Philly. It's how hasty it was.
He had to do it like
get out of here.
Right. They couldn't
That's
get rid
what
of him
happened with
quick
Saquon
enough.
coming to Philly. Saquon might have been looking around, but New York pushed him out the door. Like, we're not paying you. Oh, okay, I'll just go to Philly, play right here in the division,
down the street.
They was pushing him. We're not paying you. So yeah, he goes and plays right down the street. Now sometimes that's what happens with players, you know. But that there, they pushed him out the door. They wanted him yesterday gone. And it was taking too long,
Right.
so we're not waiting on the other
It's like the
team, no
house
other
is on
deal.
fire.
Yeah, they got to get him out.
We got to
That
oh my
tells me
gosh,
it's something else.
There's
That's
a
higher ups.
5-alarm fire here. We got to get rid of this guy because the house is burning down.
Yeah, well, I
mean,
think that's higher up.
Let's get oh my God,
What's
now.
their coach named Joe? I forgot his name. Their coach for Boston. I don't think he was like, I got to get Jaylen Brown out of here.
No,
that
no.
is higher up.
It was it wasn't him. It
It's
was
not-
the other
the former coach.
Yeah, the former
Stevens?
coach. Yeah, Brad Stevens
Brad
is
Stevens?
the GM.
Right.
He's the one. He was the one that came out and tried to tell everybody after everybody couldn't figure it out. He got out, and Brad Stevens was in essence trying to tell us that had to do with he didn't want that much money in that position. Like he couldn't have like $120 million tied up with two players. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Some story. Well, they're the kind. I don't know.
Well-
Yeah, he was trying to tell you. Could the cap
Okay.
and yada this.
Brad Stevens has been the executive of the year. I think he's won it twice.
Yeah.
He's been a coach of the year.
Unless
before.
the owner made him do it.
That's just what I'm saying. He's
So
been
the owner
executive.
told him, "You got to come out.
You got to tell something, and you better
and
go
so
and do this."
You got to figure. You have to figure something to
Yeah.
say.
But Brad Stevens is the guy that signed him to the contract.
Right.
This is the guy that was a coach of the year before too.
Right.
He knows players when they
Right.
can play
He knows
together.
he's very good at what he does. That's
I don't-
why I don't.
so he
I
had to
agree
step-
with you.
That's why I think
Brad
it's
Stevens was basically told to do it.
I do. I
I
believe that.
agree with that. I
he
think
was told
that
to do that. 'Cause
the
why
owner
would he do it?
Yeah, Brad Stevens. This was.
He's not no dumb
no.
guy. This guy was a good
And then
young
to trade
coach.
him in the division was so stupid.
Yeah, and I bet she wasn't in agreement with that either.
No.
But we need this guy
Portland.
out our door. Yeah.
Portland,
Somewhere.
Clippers, Phoenix,
The Pelicans. Anywhere.
the Pelicans,
Somewhere.
Minnesota, the other conference,
Yeah.
preferably Denver.
Now,
fine.
and that would have been a good trade. Sending him to
Denver for Jamal Murray. They keep talking about Jamal. They're going to trade Murray. Well, why don't you call Denver and say, look, I think they were close salary-wise. Murray's probably making a little less, but you could have tried to done something there if you wanted to so intent on getting rid of Brown.
Yeah.
look at other teams, preferably not in your conference. Look out of conference first.
Nah, they
But
they
maybe
won.
maybe it was a situation where Brown was radioactive.
Yeah,
No
that's what I'm
team
saying.
wanted him because he's the player rep.
That too.
So
that could have something to do with
teams
it, too.
just don't want to deal with that, and they told them no. And then Philadelphia probably thinking they don't care because
people don't believe that kind of stuff going. But all we have to do is look Shador Sanders. We can do a lot of things.
Oh no, we could
and
tie
just
it
talk
in.
about all kind of how can stuff like that. Think owners don't talk to each other?
Oh,
and convince each other and collusion
all
the time. They say, "Oh, there's no." Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because no way, there's no way anybody's gonna get me to think Brad Stevens, who has shown, you don't see a young guy like that win the Coach of the Year, still young, could still coach, but said, "I'm gonna go to the front office," then win Executive of the Year for all his great doings and stuff and bringing guys together. And then, oh, no, we got to keep Jaylen Brown. I'm going to pay him. And then a year or two later, he comes, I got too much time. He knew that when he did it.
That's what I mean.
No way.
Right.
No way. Somebody up there said, we got to get Jaylen Brown and get him out fast. I don't care where you send him. Get him out of here. And that's the only deal he could get right then. He might have looked for more deals down there. They didn't want to wait. The ownership wanted him
that's
out
the other
the
thing.
door.
Why did they have to trade him as fast as they did? I mean,
what is going? That's what I'm saying. I want to know what's going on in the soap opera. Why he had to be out the door so fast? Because I took my time with that one. I would have got. We done seen Brad Stevens do some stuff. He'd take his time.
That's what I mean.
And get that roster constructed so well that they was always right there.
Right.
That was like.
But why would you trade him for a broken down player that's at the end of his career?
Because I'm telling you, don't look at it like that. They feel they do get the scoring, and they're gonna have him play defense. He's not gonna be worried about putting up 20 and 30 points a game.
But here's the problem I have is,
and they definitely want Jason Tatum to be the
I guess the only
face of the
thing
team.
you have going for you with that trade, and I think he said this, was that Paul George is really in the last year of his contract, and then he has that player option for $56 million after this year.
Yeah, that is a plus, that part.
So maybe they figured, we'll get George. How about if George opts in, though? Paul George, see, here's the thing with Paul George. He makes $54 million this year. Mm-hmm. Then he has a player option for 27-28 for $56 million. So he can opt into that contract for $56 million in 27-28 and be with the Celtics another year, and they got to pay him $56 million.
Unless it's miserable being there. They can do that. They can make it miserable for him that he'd say, I'm out of here anyway.
And then, because he doesn't need, obviously, he can't need the money.
No.
But the point is, maybe they do that, and maybe but he's 36 years old. He'll be 37 next year. Mm-hmm. And if I'm Paul George, I'm 37 years old. I know my body is breaking down. I'll opt in and get my $56 million.
Yeah, they might.
And then they have to trade him, or they have to figure out what they're going to do. But now but the problem is now you have a $56 million on your payroll, and then next year the Celtics payroll goes up next year to $206 million from $203 million. So they're right around that cap, that apron, where they really don't have a lot of flexibility going into next year unless Paul George opts out, then that relieves them of $56 million. But if he opts in, then they're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So unless
I think they'll trade him. They'll do something. And I know I'm just looking at his track record. Brad Stevens will think of something.
They'll have to
he'll think of something
because they really want
that wasn't him. That don't even sound like something he does.
They want, if you're a Celtic fan, he's there for 54, but the year after next, 27-28 next year after this year, he's got that player option of $56 million. If you look at history, normally these guys opt out. Most of these NBA players, from what I've ever seen, they usually don't opt in for the player option. They always opt out and then sign another deal.
Yeah.
Like,
because there's a lot of stipulations that are in those re-ups like that.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be held.
And maybe
to
they don't want to be held.
Yep.
So we'll wait and see what the Celtics do. But I believe Stevens did bring that up, that they were getting George on the expiring contract.
Which that part is good. And that's probably the best he can do at a rush. When you told I want
match
him out,
up the salary.
How soon do you, like last night? Oh, now he knows.
And maybe that's what they were focusing in on more, is getting rid of the contract.
Yep, getting him out of here and getting him
and
out
that
the door.
was the quickest, fastest way. And they got draft picks to top it. But the thing they were probably figuring is the best way to get rid of Jaylen Brown. And even though you gave him away to your division rival, we won't beat that horse anymore. But Paul George gives you the expiring contract, and that will be off your books probably at the end of this year because he won't opt in.
And now you can. Really
and now you have
once
you take the $56 million out from. Yeah, that brings you down salary-wise to $150 million. You take the 56 from the 206. Do the math, but bottom line is now you have $150 million, and now you got flexibility. Because you're all the other guys. If you're a Celtic fan, Derek White is there, Robinson's there, Sam Hauser's there, Pritchard is there, Ron Harper Jr. So you have guys there that are going to be there for a couple years.
Yep. So you got your nucleus there. So I mean, he will keep that team relevant, because he knows how to do his job.
Now, the only question is, though, you don't have a lot of flexibility with signing anyone else, so this is the team you're rolling out this year. Because you're right now, as of this, you are sitting at $203 million. I think you might have a veteran exception there to throw out.
So they're going to sign somebody
else.
They'll
make another move.
Yeah.
How that impacts the team, wait and see. But bottom line is, this is your team you're really rolling out, with maybe one extra player who's ever out there free agent. I know there's a few other guys that haven't.
Quite a few.
Yeah. Because everybody's waiting on. It seems like everybody's waiting on LeBron to see what he decides to do.
And hopefully that'll come up soon. Hopefully. With the NFL on the horizon, I think they'll get it in there so it'll be high impact news. At least for a couple of days, because you get in the midst of the football season. Yeah, it'll be news, but it's not. I don't care what kind of news it is. Once them camps get going with the NFL, well, you get drowned by that stuff.
Right, because once the NFL gets here,
you better get this stuff out pretty soon.
And this is what I mean. Right now, like I said, I'm just looking at NBA free agents. Draymond Green is considered the third best out there. And Jalen Duren is the second best one out. He averages, he's a double-double, 19, 5, and 10 rebounds a game, 10.5 rebounds. So Duren is second best free agent. Draymond's considered the third best. The Nick Richards is obviously considered. What's his? Oh, Kevin Love. Yeah, okay. Now you're really and James Harden, DeMar, DeRozan. But these guys are old, like Jalen.
Yeah. Well, not now. DeRozan won't be. That guy's still at the top.
But he's still got
Oh, yeah, he's still got game there.
So he's still got game. He's a free agent.
Yeah,
he's 18.
Where he gonna go?
Right. We don't know what he's doing. He's 18 points a game.
And he's another guy that takes care of his body, able to play so long like this and still at the high. He needs to get with a team though. Now, that would be something if Boston had another guy picked up somebody like him. But there's no way you can get that on that roster the way it is now. But DeMar DeRozan, oh man, that would be very good for them.
Where did Hachimura play? Who did he?
He got. Where did he go? I forgot who he signed with, but he's gone. And I seen that. After I seen that, I said, "Oh wow!" But I can't remember what team he went to. Hachimura, I thought he put in.
Oh, here it is.
A really good season with the Lakers.
Clippers.
Oh, okay. So they didn't even have to move.
No, he went across town.
Right across town.
That's a pretty good move.
Yep. Not a bad team.
Because I thought he was good coming off the bench, and he was good. He could shoot.
And they rebuilding their team.
And they're
once they get everything settled with Kawhi in
Toronto,
Toronto, because he's some things there. But once that's settled, he'll be back in Toronto.
Because the NBA has been investigating that for how long now?
Yes. Come on,
are they trying to be like the NCAA?
I hope not. Don't do that.
I mean, okay, look, you're still looking into, did Kawhi and the Clippers circumvent the salary cap with the way that whatever it was? Okay, you've been doing this for how many months now? I don't understand. Like, why are you taking months to figure it out? Either he did it, you got evidence, or you don't have anything.
And let's go
with
this stuff.
You go to the Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, and say, okay, we think you did this. We're going to fine you $500,000, which is like a $5 bill for any other person, and say, you're going to fine you $500,000 because we think you did this. Yeah. And then you could say, well, we thought he did. He's going to go ahead and we're going to fine him, and we're done and moving on. Come on, guys. Yeah. Either the Clippers did something bad, whatever that was supposed to be, with circumventing the proverbial salary cap with Kawhi, or you don't have enough evidence, you don't know what he did, move on.
Yeah.
Get him in Toronto, make the trade that they were supposed to. They're waiting on this trade because of the NBA investigation is not done. And obviously, the Toronto Raptors don't want to have Kawhi Leonard with the idea that the NBA might punish him. They want this figured out too, because if there's a problem, they don't want to make that trade.
Yeah.
But the NBA, Silver, come on. Make the decision.
Yeah, he's been doing stuff, everything else pretty good. They got to get it done.
But get this done.
Get it out the way, yeah.
Right. I mean, you're screwing around with this thing. It's like either what do you need? What else? What's the holdup?
Yeah, I don't know. I just want them to go ahead and clear that up so they can get that.
Make the trade to get Kawhi into Toronto.
Yep. Because they were good last year.
Right. Now you stick Kawhi on that team.
Yep.
The only problem if Kawhi plays, he's a great player. He's another guy.
But he's the only guy, and I'm always agree with Barkley that because I thought that. He's the only guy I know can miss 30 games and then come right back, and the next game he'll score 30, rebounds and double figure, everything. It looked like he never missed not one game. I've never seen a guy like that in my life, but that's what Kawhi. He never looks broken down when he comes. But he comes.
No.
It's like this guy is like I don't understand. I just don't understand.
When he plays,
he just plays.
He's a great player.
That's all you can say. Because he doesn't never look messed up.
He doesn't play. I don't know if he plays. All I know is when he's on the court, he's a great player. It's getting him on the court has always been the problem with his injuries. I'll look it up. What his that's been Kawhi Leonard's main problem, is getting on the court and staying on the court, and that's it in a nutshell. And I like Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, he played now. He played in 65 games this year.
Yeah, which is
averaged
good.
almost 28 points a game.
And they play 82?
Last year he was only 37. He's up and down. He played with the Clippers. He played in 37 games the year before, 68 in 23-24, 52 in 22-23, and 52 in 20-21. So he
only had that one really bad.
He had the one bad
37.
where he only played in 37 games, and that was in 24-25. Last year he played 65 games, averaged 32 minutes a game. Again, he scored almost 28 a game. Let's round it up to 28 a game. He shot almost 39% from three, and he's almost he's an 89% free throw shooter.
I mean, he's a winner. He's just a winning basketball player.
And he can play. He's a player.
Yeah, that's why people say, "Well, why is he?" That's why he's relevant, because when he gets on the court,
He can play,
He can
and
play.
he plays.
You don't. I just don't understand it. The guy come back, and usually they got to work into it.
No, he doesn't.
Just come back. He's just the same guy.
He's 35 years old, but
it doesn't even matter.
You don't even think that he's that old, because when he plays, he's
still the same. The guys can't.
He could score.
They can't stop him.
Nope.
It's just,
he could.
Oh man,
he is. He's a player.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of those rare guys, and
he
he's just the kind. He could come in and, like I said, he's average.
Popovich fine.
Yeah,
because that was
actually, his last year was one of his best years he had, point-wise. I mean, he averaged, say, 28 points. The year before, 21, 23, and 23, and 24, almost 25. But last year was one of his best years he had. And he played 65 games, which is
only 17 minutes. Right?
No,
80?
32 minutes. He averaged 32 minutes a game, 65 games and played, and I'll round it up to 28 points, because he was 27.9. I'll say.
So I mean, he missed 17 games during the season. 82 game season, right?
Yeah.
Now that's good for him.
Yeah,
because sometimes he doesn't even be injured. They just give him that.
Well, they always
management.
have it, and that's the NBA.
Right.
These guys in this day and age in the NBA, if they play 65 games or more, they've played a full season, because I don't care. I know people get upset, but it is what it is. They have load management built in. These guys get games off when they're not hurt, and that's just the way they do. They know with Kawhi Leonard, he's got that knee, he's got that. They got to give him a little bit time off, fine. But when he's playing, he's all out.
Right. You're going to get a full effort from Kawhi Leonard. So.
And this past year was one of his best years he's played. And he's 35 years old. So the question is going to be, going next year, if they can get this trade figured out to Toronto, once they're done with their investigation, which seems to just be painfully so long, and who cares? And you think anybody cares?
No, they don't care.
Do you think the fans care about if the Clippers somehow, some way? And then what are you going to do to the Clippers? You're going to find Ballmer, who's got more money than he's going to say, okay, fine, whatever. I mean, what do you do?
A little drop in the bucket. I don't care.
Right.
Because you're not going to find them
evidently you don't. Here's my point. If you haven't figured it out now, what leads me to believe something's going to happen that you're going to figure it out later, because you've been sitting on this thing for how many months?
Yeah, just let it go.
So you either have something now or you don't have it. Make a decision.
Yeah, or you're trying to manufacture
And that's the other thing. Now they're trying to figure out, well, what is it? If you haven't figured it out now, then guess what? You're not figuring out another month from now.
Yeah, I mean, just get they need that negative. They need to get out of here, because everything's been going so good for the NBA.
You got the NBA going. You're going. I think you've taken over Major League Baseball as the second best sport and interest sport in the country.
And
you're never going to get
Get that stuff going, because that's a Toronto team. They'll be in the mixed team. They're going to be in the mix too.
And that's the other thing. If you can get Kawhi with Toronto, now all of a sudden with that younger Toronto team, you stick Kawhi in that formula with that team. Now you're thinking, hey, Toronto's going to be, potentially create, and you're taking him out of the West and putting him in the East. You're making the Eastern Conference better by putting Kawhi Leonard in Toronto.
Yeah.
But get it done.
Hurry.
Yep. But that's what, I mean, you see the way how it's, evolving here with the NBA, and you see where the talent is, and the East is getting a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But the West is really where your teams are, and that's where all your interest is.
It's right now, yeah. I mean, they need to do.
But
get it over with.
Yeah.
Please. I beg you.
Yeah. Please. Whatever, who knows? That's the other thing. Nobody really cares.
Right. That's another thing.
Right. Your fans don't care. Mm-mm. The Clipper fans, the Toronto Raptor fans, they don't care. They just want to see, the Raptors just want Kawhi in the uniform. I understand the team doesn't, because they want to get that done. Whatever you guys decide, get it done.
Mm-hmm. That's all.
And if you can't figure it out, then obviously maybe they didn't do it. Just circumvent the proverbial salary
Yeah,
cap.
they ever think about that? Maybe they just didn't do it.
Nah, I don't know. Anyway, Hachimura is a Clipper.
Okay.
So that makes, again, that's more interest because now you've got that. The Clippers, what are they going to be doing with that team? Like I said, the East is going to be very good because can the Knicks repeat? I don't know. I think the East is going to be really an interesting, but so will the West. I think the West is wide open too.
Yep.
Does OK City rebound from the loss to the or are the Spurs going to go now with the year under their belt? Are the Spurs going to be a potential team in the West that may be the favorite to win the West because they're, and if LeBron goes to the Spurs, we'll wrap it up. Saturday Morning Sports Page after this. Time out. Back after this.
If I could be you.
And you could be me.
For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532. The Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Saturday Morning Sports Page. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in, talk sports. Do it every Saturday morning here, and here is Western Reserve Radio. Dave Clark, as we kind of navigate, I know we've really spent a large amount of the show talking about the NBA, which I think is fascinating, to say the least. I think that the NBA has done an unbelievable job with their TV contract. I think you've got a lot of people now interested. It says here that Riley even makes the LeBron pitch, and Giannis is excited about playing with LeBron. So Giannis wants LeBron to go to the Heat. Riley wants him at the Heat. So...
It's going to be interesting. Let's see.
And now we have the NBA is investigating a 4-year deal, $64 million that Gary Trent Jr. signed as a possible salary cap circumvention.
Yeah, he just signed that with who? I know he just
Milwaukee.
Did it. Milwaukee, okay.
So now they're thinking somehow, some way that the NBA thinks that some. I mean, how long are they going to take on that?
Is that a part of the Giannis? It's not a part of none of that.
I don't think it's part of it. Trent's new deal to re-sign with the Bucks was officially announced and submitted to NBA this morning. He is set to receive a pay raise at a multi-year deal. Okay. Now, he didn't have a great season, low production season, but obviously they feel that, they want him. All right. He signed for the league minimum in the summer of 2024, put together a strong season with the Bucks. Then he signed a 2-year deal, $7.5 million before the start of last season. They paid him $3.7 million and established his early bird rights, allowing him to re-sign with the team, even if it's over the cap. He opted out of his player option to become a free agent and was set to earn $15 million. Oh, it says here, NBA is looking into the contract as the league's collective bargaining agreement contains a clause against a prior agreement. So evidently he wasn't supposed to have a prior agreement before he signed this contract, I think. Stay tuned. I wonder how long the NBA will take to figure that out, since they're taking forever and a day to figure out the whole situation with the Clippers. That's months.
Yeah.
That was months ago.
Yeah, I know. It's still going. So.
Many months ago.
Yeah.
When that first happened.
It was during the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Insane stuff.
Anyway, let's look. I know we talked about the NFL a little bit. Let's look at some of these divisions. I know last week we were kind of having a good conversation about the Browns, Shador, the division they're in. And then we slid over. We talked a lot about Atlanta and Tampa Bay and what are the Buccaneers going to do with Baker. Mm-hmm. He wants the $50 million deal, and they don't really, it doesn't sound like they want to give him that. And he's in the last year of the contract.
Yeah, I don't think they want to give it to him.
And now it's coming out that he played last year hurt. He was hurt last year when he played. After the second game, he had all these injuries that he was playing.
This guy doesn't learn, though, that part of him. His stubbornness is a weapon against himself. Because if he's banged up, you know what happened when he's in Cleveland, when it was time to get that new contract and be the franchise quarterback. When he played injured, had one of the worst seasons, and then they didn't re-sign him. No. And rightfully so. Why would you get re-signed? You look like you did. Okay, yeah, you played hurt, but that's not, you should have opted out and just not played before you did that. So, he does it again. Didn't look good down the stretch for sure. And it's hard for, Tampa Bay to say, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars, because every time that situation and time comes, something's wrong with you, and your first excuse is, I was injured. Well, you should have learned the first time that I'm going to make sure my injuries get taken care of so I don't have any issues with any contracts. But he didn't do it, evidently. So it makes no sense.
I guess the question is, like Baker, we talked last week, Baker says he's not going to negotiate into the season. So they'll either sign him with the contract extension before the season, or it doesn't happen until after, but he'll be a free agent.
Then, yep.
And then I guess they risk losing him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're waiting to see what comes in this great NFL draft with all the quarterbacks that are supposed to be coming out in the 2027 draft, which is supposed to be like, the greatest thing since sliced bread. We've heard that before. So now the question's going to be, but to me, if you're a team like Tampa Bay with all the veterans, I don't think you want a rookie quarterback. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that team is ready to go.
Yeah,
You've got the
that's the
team
thing.
in place. It's an older team, but I don't see them, saying, okay, we'll see how this rides out.
Well, I think.
Or do they let Baker to see if Baker gets them to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl?
or
And then,
something, get them deep in the playoffs or something.
but then if he doesn't do that and you want to move on, then you're always, okay, now where do
Starting
you
over, and these other guys, veterans, they're going to look to go elsewhere too because
Right.
they're not going to want to sit around another.
Right.
Not sitting around, but just be there 3 years before we develop into the team we need to be.
Right.
You don't want that in
No.
their career. They want to still be
If you're
young
Tampa
enough
Bay, you want the guy,
that are ready.
the quarterback ready to go, because no matter whatever happens, it's the NFL. We know one big thing. Is the quarterback. You got to have a quarterback to win.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you need the D line, you need the offensive line. We know that. But you can have those parts. But if you don't have the quarterback, you're not going to win in the NFL.
You got to still have that.
You always need the quarterback. That's one thing in the NFL. The one constant to the NFL is you need the quarterback to win.
Yeah, because the way I would build a team, I would think my suggestion was always I want to get a very good person behind center first, and then my offense and defensive lines, and then I'll build after that.
Right.
But those would be my main important pieces, starting with the quarterback, because I got to have that leader.
You got to have a leader.
And they can really lead this team, and then I'm going to build my offensive line, and then I want to make sure I build my defensive line. And then we add those pieces after that if we're starting the team out. But I don't know. I just see if Baker be out the door, and so would our man.
Oh, yeah. Well, they just signed him a 3-year deal, but that doesn't matter. Because,
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they did sign Bowles to a contract extension. But that has never stopped. We know.
Right.
We know for fact.
They be 3-14.
They don't
extension
care.
or not. They'll extend it all right. They'll pay you some stuff to get out of here. That's what they'll do. And I hate that. I hope that don't happen to Bowles. So.
No.
But I don't think they're going to pay Baker before the season start. I'd be very surprised unless he really comes to camp and he just looks so good and everything is looking well. I know that's not games, but they just see that everything is clicking, and they say, hey, you know what? We're going to roll the dice. We may not give him a 4 or 5 year contract, but we might give him a 2 with a 3rd-year option or something extension. I don't know, but I just don't see it happen. I don't see him getting any type of extension before the season.
No, I don't see it. My take would be, if it hasn't happened now, it's not going to happen.
That's what That's how I'm thinking.
Right? If they were going to sign Baker Mayfield, he's looking for a $50 million a year deal, and that's usually the 5-year. You know how they always put the 3-year, whatever, and they have the money, but he's going to look for a lot of it being guaranteed.
Right.
Bottom line is, they don't put him in the category, at least my eyes, as Tampa Bay. They don't believe that Baker is a $50 million a year quarterback. So they're going to wait and see what happens this year. And either they win and Baker gets them, depending how far Baker gets them, they're going to have to make a decision. And they may keep him and try to negotiate it down a little bit. Or they let him be the free agent, but then they have to go find a quarterback. And that's always the dilemma in the NFL, is then you got to find the guy. And it's, you always is he going to be better? You got to get better. See, the only concept is if you don't want to if you get rid of a player like a Baker, then you have to at least give the fans hope that you're going to get a better player, a better quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's like anything. Any trade you make, you got to kind of go out and prove that we made a trade or we let the guy go because we have plan B involved, and we're going to get a better quarterback than Baker, who's going to put us to win. So, and sometimes I don't think teams think it out that far. They either get mad or they don't, think Baker's the reason. Let's get rid of him. Okay, what's your plan B? Like, where are you going to? Oh, we'll figure something out. that doesn't always work out real well.
Right. Well, I tell you that if they have a losing season and they really be down there, then they'll be in that quarterback derby for the next season. They'll be looking to get one in the draft. But
what's going to happen there with Tampa Bay is, I personally think what will happen is that if this, in that division, their expectation is to win that division, I think, going into next season. They have to look at, I'm afraid to say this, but Todd Bowles is probably going to have to win that division and get in the playoffs, or I think he's going to be out of a job.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I know it's the speculation of all teams to win their division, but this is one that this division, every single one of those teams has an argument to say, I'm winning this division.
Right.
Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Buccaneers, they all got the same aspiration. I mean, all teams do, but they really all have legitimate reasons to say they should win it. And they got an argument, all of them. That's how tight that division is. So, a lot of times the quarterback play is the one that brings a team over the hump. So now pressure goes to Baker, Tyler Sluh down in New Orleans. You got Young there at the Panthers, who's got to continue to build off of last season as he continued to play great once he came. Remember, he was benched and then brought back in. And from that point on, he played great. So, we got to see what happens. See if these teams got Atlanta. Is it Tua or is it Penix? We don't know which one, but it doesn't matter which one.
I think of all the divisions, I would almost say top to bottom, that's probably the most competitive top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Because you can really make a case for each of those teams to win that division more than you can do it. Like let's look at the other divisions real quick. When you take, let's start with the NFC East, top to bottom. You got Philly, Dallas, Giants, Washington. Now, I don't really think the Giants can win that division. I think they could do better than they did, but I don't really think they could win that division. Washington, maybe. Dallas could if they ever figure it out, but they every year it's no defense. But Philadelphia's got to be the odd favorite to win it. I would be very surprised to say that the Giants would win. If I would rate the teams to win the division, I'd put Philly obviously 1. I think Dallas is probably 2. Washington's close at 3, but then the Giants 4 to win it.
Right.
What do you think is on that division? If I were to say to you, how do you look at that division as far as who's going to win, who's, top to bottom? Like, what are the chances the Giants win the division? I would say that's a long shot. Comparing it, if we want to compare it to the South, the NFC South.
It's not like that.
It's not like that because the gap isn't that much to me, those 4 teams are tight.
Yeah.
But the Giants.
Yeah, you got a little bit of gap.
There's
in
a
them,
gap
but they
there
still all
in the
good.
East.
They still could
They're
all
all good.
surprise you.
Yeah.
But there's a little gap.
But there's more of a gap in that division.
Now, I'm a Eagles guy, but I actually feel this season, unless I change by the time we get ready for maybe picking divisions, I say Dallas is going to win the division this year. Because I think they made the moves they need to on defense. Now, whether the guys mesh, I don't know. But you got a new defensive coordinator.
Right.
So let's see what happened with the new defensive coordinator. He's done well where he's been at in other places. And get him with these players that they got on defense. I know what type of offense they got. They get this defense.
Right.
I think they win the division. Philly, they got the players too, but here it is, another season of new coordinators and all this stuff over and over and over. They've been able to weather that storm all the time, but we got to see. We got to see if they can get that magic back. I know that they got the players to win again, but I'm gonna go with the fresh and excited team, and I'm gonna say Dallas gonna win it right now.
You mentioned the defensive coordinator is Christian Parker. He's
Mhm.
34 years old. He is the youngest
He used to be in Philly.
defensive coordinator in franchise history. So he's going to be right.
And he's taking some of them concepts, he's bringing it to Dallas that he used at Philly. You know, that he helped out there because he was at Philly for a few years.
Right.
And now he's their defense coordinator, so that helps him. He knows the division. That helps. You got all these players that can play. Know that helps. I just feel that's a team to infuse some energy, and I think they can win it, the division this year. That's how I feel right now. And see how preseason go and see how things look.
I wonder if Washington
They can be dangerous. They had a lot of the injuries last year.
I wonder if Washington could be in that mix
Yeah,
to win that potential to win it.
Starting with the quarterback. You know we always say that. So he was injured. Got to have him healthy.
If you were going to bet odds-wise, Philadelphia is still favored to win the division. They're plus 115 to plus 135. Dallas is next at plus 200 to plus 235. Washington is third. They're plus 460 to 525. And the Giants are last, which we said, plus 550 to 600. So when you look at that, you could see there is the gap. Philly is still favored to win it. But it always cracks me up with Philadelphia is it always seems like they are a weird team because when people count them down, they come back up. When they're favored, sometimes they don't live up to the expectation. I can't ever figure them out. But they still have the best GM in football. He always works stuff out that you don't know about.
Right.
Like he's the type of guy that will get these players, secondary players on the roster that are actually pretty good players, and you don't know that until they get out there and they play. And wow, where did he get these guys? But they are up and down, and there's the offense is still, people are, Jalen Hurts. They got rid of, what's his name, Brown. So are they going to really miss that?
Yeah, I think you are going to miss it, even though I think
Right.
Getting Mekhi Lemon was a great thing in the
Right.
draft.
And I like that draft pick.
Yeah, and they picked up those other receivers. Wicks, that was a nice pickup from the Packers. Knowing that system, the offensive coordinators coming from the Packers, so that's going to help so much. So it's a lot of pluses that you do see, but it's just getting all that together. So I'm feeling that. Still say I'm going higher with Dallas because they coming in with an offensive system that they're all together. They've been together. They'll be ready to play. If that defense and Coach Parker get them revved up, I just think they can win that division.
Now, I find this really interesting because we were talking about odds to win the NFC East. But I think this is really interesting because pulled it up, odds to win the NFC South. This kind of runs contrary to what I believe or what we were saying. I'm going to throw this out to you to see what you think. Tampa Bay's odds favored to win it, 160 to 175 odds to win. Second place is New Orleans. 265 to 350. That's the range. Third place, actually, is Carolina at 300 to 350. But the last team is the Atlanta Falcons at 375 to 425. Now, granted, those numbers are a lot closer than the NFC East.
Right.
Because we talked about that, but I'm surprised that they have Atlanta last.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think. That you got one concussed guy in Tua. And you got another guy with a bum knee that we don't even know when he'll be back.
Right.
And what we just said, you have to have a quarterback.
Got to have a quarterback.
Stable quarterback.
But you got the best would you agree, take the quarterback out? I think that Atlanta's got the best roster, but the quarterback is questionable.
I mean, they seriously got an explosive player. But when I go at New Orleans, I look at New Orleans. Their receivers are very good.
Yeah, they got Olave.
But
right?
But Atlanta's good too.
Right.
The running back now, that's a little different. B.J. Robbins,
he's
that's
what I mean.
Dynamic.
That running, right.
But New Orleans upgraded theirs by re-signing Kamara, and they got our guy that came from Jacksonville. What's his name? From Clemson.
Etienne?
Etienne. Now, so that makes your backfield better. Then your quarterback is set. You know who your quarterback is. That makes you raise up on Carolina. They got a good running back. Hubbard is
they
good.
Got them third.
They got Carolina coming in third.
Yeah.
And they got the quarterback who started to show what he needs to do.
And there's not a big difference in these teams. Like
in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
If Baker can play well,
right,
they got everything too, because their receiving core is still good without Evans. Even though Evans left, they're still
good.
Top. Yeah.
They've got really the Saints and Carolina could interchange 2 and 3. Little gap, but not much of a gap with Atlanta at 4. They're very tight. These teams are very compressed.
Atlanta still could win it. All they got to do is get the quarterback play.
Right.
That roster is great.
Right. If Penix is healthy, can play with the knee, but if he can play and he can not get hurt with that roster, you could say it. Atlanta could win the division easily.
Yeah.
And in Tampa Bay, they have them favored to win the division, but
not by much, right?
But not much. I mean, there's not a big gap there.
Yeah.
Now the gap, as we talked about, there's a bigger gap in the NFC East.
Yeah.
In that division.
Than that one, yeah.
So,
sure.
Right. So when you break it down, you look at that division and you think, now if you take, I think the other division that's really interesting is the NFC North. Because you've got, now this is interesting because you've got the Lions favored to win the division at 175 to 125. Green Bay is next, 210 to 230, so they're close.
Mm-hmm.
Then Chicago's not that far behind. They're at 310 and 330. Then it drops off. Minnesota's last at 500 to 600. They're at bottom, and there's a gap there. Like Minnesota's pretty much destined to finish last in that division. If you look at these are strictly the odds.
Yeah.
They mean really
these
things mean nothing, but we love talking about
their
it.
odds though.
Right.
I do like Vikings odds. Because let's say Kyler Murray wins that job.
Which you think he will.
Yeah. And it elevates them to a different
right.
Every position.
Right.
They're pretty good. They get the running back, the receivers. We know they got the entire receiving core. That quarterback play, they got a good offensive line. And then on defense, they can rush the passer.
Yeah.
And do
they got
stuff.
And the coach is a good coach.
Yeah, the head coach is good.
Head coach is really
good. And then
good.
the defensive coach, what's his name? Used to be the Flores. Defense.
Brian Flores is always good. He's always got a good defense.
He causes problems.
Yeah, he causes problems
that
for a lot of teams.
That is a team that I would, if you're the betting man, say, I'm going to
put a little,
might put a little bit on
what do
these
they call
guys
it?
that can
a
win
couple
this.
Shekels down.
Yeah, on them winning the division. Because they could.
Right, you could.
They could win the division.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
I like
really,
that division. That division is interesting.
Yeah.
Caleb's shown that he done grown. And if they can keep on improving there, Detroit was banged up. I know they want to come back big.
And they want to come back big, and they want to make a
Packers
statement.
Be dangerous. They're always dangerous.
What
That's
makes
a good
Minnesota the interesting part is the Kyler Murray. I don't think JJ. Well, JJ's going to fight for the job with Kyler, so it's up in the air.
It can't do anything, but that's one thing about football. Well, any sport, if you could bring out competition in guys that may not start, but they'll be better because of the competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
So much to get to.
So that was our little bit of football. We didn't get to it like we like next time.
We're going to get it next week. Definitely get it. We got so much to football. Maybe LeBron will have the decision next week.
Yeah.
If not, we'll talk about it. Even if he does, we got it.
Yep.
Saturday morning sports page. Stay safe. Do not drink and do not drive. Get a designated driver and buckle up. Saturday morning sports.
The stations that always keep you in the zone.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Hey, it's Ready, Set, Bet here on Saturday. Matt Brown, Mike Somich coming to you for the next 3 hours as we have the British Open. Everybody out on the course right now, including the leaders. We'll keep you updated on that as well. Of course, the World Cup rolls on. We will see if